Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Hello, welcome along. My name is Ben Somerville from Tsujigiricollective. A very warm welcome to this evening's stream, this morning's stream, as I say, wherever you are in the world. I am currently in Gisborne in New Zealand, where we are streaming this to you from. I'm not on my normal home internet connection, so if things go wrong and everything is juddery and awful, then it'll be better again next week, and I apologise. But things should be great. Thank you very much for joining us today for this week's competition. We've got a slightly new format today in terms of the way that we run through things. I've got a few extra slides to show you. We're trying to make things approachable and easy for people who have potentially never been to a drift event or seen a drift event or made it around drifting at all before. So all of this is geared up to try and make it so that you guys at home have a much better idea of what's going on through the course of the day. Minty Media, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome along. We've got 32 drivers lined up for you. We had one last minute dropout, but that's okay because we've always got reserve drivers. It is a top 32 drawn randomly from a hat, well, a digital hat. We use random.org rather than running qualifying at the moment for our Friday night competitions because they're meant to be fun. They're not meant to be serious. They're meant to be entertaining for the drivers, good competition practice, good way to get into things. The idea is that these guys are able to take a limited competition car pack, the Tsujigiri car pack that we created with the backing from Chris Viltovsky at VDC, and we give them a set number of cars that they are able to then use for our competitions on a Friday night, and maybe they'll get better, maybe they'll enjoy things later on. Envisi, hello, welcome along. OTM Raptor, welcome along. Rapti, sorry. Hope you guys are going to have a good evening, morning, wherever. We've got guys competing today from the UK, from the Netherlands, from Scandinavia, multiple countries, from North America, from Australia, from New Zealand, from a wide places range around. This is the stuff that you guys need to know about the top 32 battles. It is about the tandem battles that you guys will be seeing. Here is how it looks. The tandem battles, the drivers compete in elimination head-to-head battles. Each battle consists of 2 runs. That means 1 lead run for each driver and 1 chase run for each driver. 1 lead first and then swaps around. In the event of normal top 32 with qualifying, it would be the higher qualifier who does that run first. But in this instance, it is the random luck of the draw for each of them. They've been placed in their orders by that. The judges, and we have 3 of them this evening who I'll introduce in a second, they choose a winner based on the combination of both runs, or if they can't decide on a winner, they can opt to have that run again. Today, our judges are Chris Viltovsky, the head judge and one of the senior management team of the Virtual Drift Championships. Don't forget to check them out online. And also Caleb Dauphiny, who is one of the competitors in VDC and DMVC, 2 of the premier and probably the 2 premier drift competitions digitally online. And as well as standing here, sitting here, laying here, whatever I'm doing here, and chatting rubbish to all of you, I will also be doing some judging. What we are looking for looks like this. The lead driver must run as close as possible to a perfect line as per the driver briefing, which you guys will get to hear in a minute, and as per the track map, which you guys will get to see as part of that briefing. They must ensure that the run is easy to chase. Now that is a catch-all sentence that is designed to make sure that the guys aren't doing anything stupid like brake checking or deliberately throwing more angle randomly in order to get hold of people, or throwing themselves backwards in places that are inappropriate, all of that kind of stuff. Sosa Montana, thank you very much for the like. That is a catch-all sentence that gives the judges the room to be able to say, we don't think that was chaseable, that loses the run. They must also, as part of this, conform to the throttle map as per the briefing, which, as I've said, you guys will all get to see very, very soon. Now, this is what is required from the chase driver. And this is important. The chase driver's job is pretty crucial as part of each battle to initiate no later than the final countdown cone. Now, the countdown cones are laid out on the right-hand side of the track. Rayo was unavailable. Thank you for the follow. They're laid down on the right-hand side of the track. And they are 3 cones in a line, then 2 cones in a line, and then 1 cone all by its Billy Lonesome. Now, I'm sure you can all work out as intelligent people what those are for. Those are our countdown cones. 3, 2, 1. The idea is that you must be initiated by the 1 cone. Now, the reason we specify here that it must be the chase driver that initiates by the final cone is because the lead driver can initiate anywhere in that section that they like. Obviously, they must also have been initiated by the final cone, but there is no requirement for them to initiate at the final cone. The idea here is that the chase driver has the option to initiate at the same time as the lead driver, or to give themselves a little bit of a gap so that they can close up onto the onto the lead driver if they so choose, and take that time to dive in slightly later. That is how we expect them to do their initiation. They must then, throughout the whole course, maintain the closest possible proximity to the lead car without compromising the lead car's line. Now, this is crucial. Any impact from the chase driver impacts that line for the lead. That would automatically be regarded as a knockdown towards the chase driver. Any chance where they compromise that line by blocking their transition or by pushing them off track, that also compromises the lead driver. The chase driver must also match or better the lead car's angle. Now, this is subject to, a little bit of caveating. We expect the proximity to take priority, and we would then mark them down if they're maintaining that proximity by having significantly lower angle. But we expect them to be able to maintain that proximity by mirroring the lead car's angle. That is always the goal as part of this. And that all leads us on. Now, I'm going to show you the track map in a second. First, I'm going to show you the bracket. This is how the battles are shaping up. On the left-hand side of tonight's bracket, we have Jitonya Vitor versus Leo Hermes, Pavel Antonik versus Tomislav Klesianic, Octavian Shellaroo versus Abdullah Abu Hussain, Filip Kleczkowski versus Vincent No, Bartek Kakowski versus Paddy Walls, Jared Snowden versus Augustus Usanus, Zane Fairbrother versus Ryan Sider, and Josh Hartshorn versus Wojciech Wawrika. On the other side of the bracket, you have Cormac Gard versus Oliver Eppinger, Brandon Hogarth versus Jack Lay, Sean Hogan versus Choventli Maurizia, Stephen Hatcher versus Shay McCullough, Lewis Monks versus Josh Oxley, Douglas Silver versus Nick Baylett, Alexander Yegard versus a late entry. This is a stand-in replacement for Owen Akehurst, who's had to pull out. This is Dominikis Gorelichikis, and Vlad Zezulia versus Chris Lycup, Formula Drift competitor Chris Lycup. So, across that entire range of people, you have a mix of pro drivers, you have a mix of pro competition drift drivers on the sim, you have them in real life, you've also got some grassroots guys that are just coming through who have not competed elsewhere yet, who have never drifted in real life but are fantastic on the sim. It's a great mix of people. Now, before I do the start of the next part of the briefing, I'm going to just quickly drop into the driver's chat. Now, this could be getting quite sweary, so just bear with me. This is assuming it connects with so many people in. Right, drivers, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. You are live on the stream. Please do not swear. It is time for your driver's briefing. Please return to the pits at the end of your current run. Please return to the pits at the end of your current run. If you are not on track right now, please stay in the pits. It is time for your driver's briefing. Hello, how's everybody doing? Is everybody having a wonderful time on this challenging track? Excellent. Now, if I were to tell you all that this is a Chris Viltovsky layout, would you believe me? With the there are no walls, and I think that's weird. Yeah, all right, that's fair enough. From the Chris Viltovsky School of Cone Buggery. Right, so it is time for your driver's briefing, chaps. Thank you very much for stopping. Those of you watching on the stream, this is the track layout that the drivers are looking at today. This is Ricardo Tormo in Spain. We are using the Virtual Drift Championship layout from their season finale in 2020. Fun fact, this track was discovered and suggested to Chris by me simply because I flew over it with work and looked down and went, that looks nice. I wonder if we could do an event there. And he said yes. So that's how we've ended up with this. So partly you can blame Chris and partly you can blame me. Adam, good evening. Welcome. Thank you very much for coming along. So you guys are aware there's a lot of support for all of you in the chat already this evening. So hopefully we'll be able to put on a good show. This is Ricardo Tormo. It starts off, as you can see, on the layout at the top of the screen. It is a chicane start. You are not meant to hit the cones. Any hitting the cones counts as a strike against you. If you hit the cones and we have to restart, that is one strike. You get a maximum of 3, then you forfeit the battle. It is an acceleration along the top straight before a flick initiation into the left. Now, in order to make this work, you guys are only allowed to do 2 changes of direction. Chris calls it 1 in his briefing. I disagree because I'm going to name 2 directions, and that is 1 flick to the right and then 1 rotation in to the left as part of that initiation. You are not allowed to start doing some massive, ridiculous mangy from the start line. You must do a clean, chaseable initiation. And the decel zone there starts from the number 1 countdown cone and runs to the end of the rumble strip. So you are allowed to slow down and check up and balance the car anywhere in that space. But please be aware, excessive decelling will cause you to be penalised. As you go through turn 1, it is an outside clip at zone 1. All of that first corner has a large outside clip and it runs round the edge next to the rumble strip. For the purposes of this competition, we consider the rumble strip to be off circuit. So you may drop one wheel onto it and only gain a small penalty. If you drop two wheels onto it is a large penalty. And if you drop a wheel onto the gravel, that is considered an automatic 0. From there, you come through into a transition at clip 2, which is an inside clip on a fake chicane that Chris has printed onto the floor in lieu of a wall. And I don't know why he didn't put a wall there. I feel cheated. But he's put it there so that you guys have to transition mid-track without going all the way over to the left-hand side of the track. It is not an outside clip on the left. It is an inside clip on a fake chicane as you come through there. Your transition through clip 2 should then take you across to clip 3 at the end of the power alley. We don't necessarily want you getting all the way over to the right-hand side of the track between 2 and 3. You're expected to take a mid-fast line there, but you must be at least on the right-hand half of the track, ideally. Well, not ideally. You must be able to get onto the right-hand half of the track, and through there you will then flow up towards clip 3, which is another extended inside clip pushed out more into the center of the track, and it is on the inside edge before a transition to clip 4. Now, 2, 3 and 4 are all inside clips, and they all have this sort of fake no-go zone that Chris has marked onto the floor as part of the track design. The lead car must not go into this. If the lead car enters this, it will come under the normal track wheel drop rules. So 1 wheel in is a deduction, 2 wheels in is a large deduction, 3 wheels in is an automatic 0. That's on clips 2, 3 and 4. The chase car, those numbers change. You get a single wheel of grace period. So you are allowed 1 wheel inside those lines in order to be able to close up. You must then, if you drop 2, into that inside area, you will get a small deduction, 3 is a large deduction, 4 is an automatic 0. So you get a grace wheel in order to be able to maintain proximity. Between clip 3 and 4, the track line naturally flows out to the right-hand side of the track. If you guys exaggerate that to try and get all the way to that right-hand edge before you transition, you will find that you are not able to cleanly make it through 4 and 5, and we will consider that a checkup against the lead driver. It is meant to be a fast full throttle section. If your line naturally takes you there and you still make it through, then that's okay, but trying to force the car out to the extreme right hand side of the track before the transition through 4 is going to ruin the chase of the guy behind. We will start to mark that down. 4 is another inside clip, as I've said, and then 5 is on the far left hand side of the track next to a rumble strip. Now 5 is the start of the decel zone, and I want you guys to be really aware of this. The decel zone starts at the beginning of clip 5, not before it. You are expected to be on throttle until you get into clip 5, and then it runs from the start of clip 5 to the end of the rumble strip. And the idea there is that it keeps you wide and fast. You can angle up and then push late onto clip 6. We don't want you using 5 as a touch and go and then running around the inside edge of clip 6 all the way around that inside edge of the track. You're going to be fast into 5, on the brakes through 5. If you are of a driver who has been naturally getting backwards there, we will allow it. You can get backwards into clip 5 as long as it doesn't result in excessive deceleration, massive steering corrections, or an unchaseable line for the guy behind because you managed to check up in some way that made it unchaseable. But if your natural flow takes you to 95, 100 degrees there, but you don't slow down excessively, we will allow that. From clip 5, it is back on the throttle all the way through clip 6. That is an inside clip just on the normal section on the inside edge of the track. So that is not forced out away from the track edge. It is on the track edge. So 1 wheel onto the rumble strip for the lead, small deduction, 2 large deduction, 3 is a 0. You get 1 wheel's grace onto the rumble strip for the chase car, and then round and through to the finish line. Now guys, I cannot stress this enough. We are looking at the finish line carefully. 2 wheels onto, the rumble strip on the outside of the finish line, that counts as off track. Until you have crossed the finish line, the rumble strip is off track. So if your line takes you through the finish line fast and then you accelerate out onto the rumble strip, that is fine. But any wheels onto the rumble strip before the finish line are an automatic deduction against you. Does anyone have any questions on the track briefing that we've just given? Stand by. I will show them on the stream if I can. Spectating, no. No, here you go. So I've got it there and I should be able to move around on this camera. So here we go. That is the end of the track. That is where you're all lined up. And over here, that's clip 1. So here on clip 1, you come in here. Clip 2, you can see that yellow line in the middle of the track there that runs from the left of it around that track offshoot section. All of that is considered to be your no-go zone, okay? So the lead car cannot go to the right-hand side of the clip as they come through there. The chase car can drop a single wheel if appropriate. On clip 3, it sticks out further and it runs through this section here. You can see on clip, I know obviously you guys can't see it immediately on the stream, but you'll, well, we're all talking, but you'll see it on the stream. That is a much more pronounced section. It comes further out into the middle of the track, just there. And then at clip 4, if I just go over here, it is Diddy. It's a very, very small section just over here, but it is enough to make a difference for the lead car. So the chase car can run through that wheel, through that area, but the lead car must make sure they go around the outside of that yellow section. Do not target the rumble strip. The clip is not on the rumble strip. However, at clip 6, you can see the clip is cleanly on the rumble strip. So the rumble strip counts as your off-track area. Does that make sense to everyone? I know obviously you're looking for it on the stream. Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. I am champion of my own excellence. Let me try this again. Oh man, that's how my day's going. The dogs had me up at 5 a.m. There you go. That is the yellow line there. I'll wait for it to come up on the stream. That is your inside edge there. That is how things should be. Sorry, I don't have the stream and the chat up at the same time because I've only got one piddly little monitor when I'm out on tour. So that is that section there. Has that come up on the stream now? Wonderful. Okay, I will move on anyway. And this is number 2, where it sticks out into the middle there. That is that one there. And then number 3 is over here. So you can see that is important. Obviously, it'll move along in slow time. I know you guys are all listening a little bit ahead of time. But you can also then see that 6 is not stuck away from the edge. That is just part of the curb. Chris wants you to imagine that it's a wall. There you go. And that's what's happened on the chat, is all the guys saying, Oliver Eppinger in before it gets updated into wall. Go on, quick question. Who was that? What, at the end of clip 1? Or all of them? Yeah, you can, yeah, as long as your wheels are the correct side of the line, that's the important bit. Yes. Adam's just saying we can't hear the Discord chat, by the way. I know that's fine at the moment. It's just with the number of people that are on there swearing, it's been reduced. Obviously, that means you also couldn't hear Chris, but we'll just gently feed you in there. But yes, it was intentional because I never know if I'm going to join, and these guys are going to be having a sweary, drug-fueled, rampaging mass fest. So we just don't know. So with you guys on the voice chat,
if you joined about 2 minutes earlier.
No, it's not an invitation. Right, here we go. Let's move on. These are the guys that we want to stay on the server. The rest of you may all vacate to another server. Jitonya Vitor, Leo Hermes, Pavel Antonik, Tomislav Klishanich, Octavian Shellaroo, Abdullah Abu Hussain, and Filip Klechkovsky, Vincent No. You guys are to stay on the server. The rest of you are to head off. The next 8 are Bartek Kakovsky, Paddy Walls, Jared Snowden, Augustus Usanus, Zane Fairbrother, Ryan Sider, Joss Hartshorn, and Wojciech Wawrika. The others, you will get called later on. The battle tree is available in the Discord. Please get yourselves ready. Those of you staying on the chat, you have 2 minutes left just to do a quick practice run again before we get started. I am going to take you onto that section there, and then you guys who are watching on the stream can see. I'm going to drop out of this Discord. Good luck, everybody. Have a wonderful time. I'm going to drop out for a sec, and I'll join the judges in a second. Right, we are out of the Discord. Let's have a look at some of these guys practicing so that you can see at home how things are going to shape up. These guys are out. That's that clip that we were talking about that the stream didn't show to begin with. Firing through, up through into clip 5. There's the big slowdown. That's going to be crucial. You're going to see a lot of people making mistakes as they go through there, we expect, and round and across the line. So, guys out on the chat, Race Division, hello, welcome along. Ryo was unavailable, giving it to Team Rapti. Sins giving it for Team Hot Boy. Not enough eyes, Sins. You need an extra eye on the end of Hot Boy. More support for Rapti from Aaron the Racer 20. Baba de Ginger, let's go. Yes, indeed. Servers on the map. Sorry, Momentum. That was me being a tool. Hashtag lurk. IU, good luck, everybody. Thank you very much. Adam giving me that heads up. What car pack are they using? It's the tsujigiricollective car pack. So thank you guys for coming along. We are just 1 minute away from the start of competition. Anders Unger is, as usual, the man in charge of controlling everything that's going on in the background today. He is your start line marshal and general driver wrangler. We could not do this without him. We've introduced the judges. We're going to be moving across to there in a second. This is how it's shaping up tonight. We hope you are going to have a fantastic session with us here this evening. We're going to just run that intro one more time, and then as soon as we are ready, we are going to go. Here you are. We'll see you in a second. We're in. Here we go. Right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for your patience while we got sorted. Chris Viltovsky is just answering a couple more questions over in the voice chat with the drivers. As soon as that is done, Anders has them under starters orders. They are ready to go driving. Who are you looking forward to seeing this evening? Have you got anyone that you think is going to be a winner? We had Choventi Maurizia in there. He's looking very strong. Wojciech Wawrika, obviously last week's winner. He's looking really strong this week. He wants to go driving. He's going to be competing in the latter half of this first bracket on this side of the competition. As you can see from what's going on screen at the moment, I mean, there's a lot of support for Rapti. That's awesome. But we're seeing those guys out there looking fast as they come through that first section. This is going to be crucial. This is where people are going to make or break their entire runs. What you're seeing on the screen at the moment, that is how things are going to go through there. It is all about that section because that is where they are going to be trying to make that close proximity transition. They're going to be trying not to get left behind. That is a crucial part of the track. If you manage to get that flow in the chase position between clips 2 and 3, then you're able to slot up onto the door, put the impact onto the run between 3 and 4, then dive right up inside the lead car as you come into the final section of the track. And it is really impressive to see the guys getting that so dialed in as they do the runs. And it's absolutely fantastic to watch. Yeah, so let us know who you're thinking. We've got a few people starting to respond there. We've got Rapti, a lot of support for Rapti. Oliver and Jack, yep. Ryan from Tropical Pigeon. Hello, Tropical Pigeon. How you doing, Rory? Yep, we're expecting to see a lot of support for them. We've got some interesting cars in use this week. Some of the guys have switched across from other things. The Mustang started off the week on the sign-up with something like 8 or 10 people wanting to drive it. By the end of sign-up, it had gone down to 3. We lost 7 drivers who wanted to drive the Mustang. Most of them migrated to the GT86, so we're expecting the GT86 to put in a really good showing this week. They're getting that dialed in. It's a new chassis for a lot of those guys using the 2JZ GT86. We've got one who went to the V8 GT86, which I personally think is probably the outright fastest car in the pack. But it's also the hardest to drive because it's got the V8, it's got 50-50 weight distribution, it's very, very, very twitchy, and if you get it wrong, it just spins up and sits there and doesn't do anything. Some support for Thomas Loud, that's good. We're going to see some good driving today. Minty Media supporting the homies. That's it. You make the drivers feel bad. That's your job as supporters. You're here specifically to make them feel worse about each other. So, we're gearing up for the battles. As soon as Anders has them ready to go, we will know about it. Everything is looking good. Caleb, how are you feeling about this evening?
Pretty good, pretty good. This was pretty last minute, but we're here.
It was. Weren't you meant to be, did you say fishing this week?
No, going diving this
diving,
week.
That was it. Sorry, I apologise. Those are two very different extremes of water sports.
So.
Chris Viltovsky, have people finished asking you questions?
Well, yeah.
Sort of.
Sure,
are we ready to go? Shall I tell Anders to put them under orders?
I mean, I'm surprised they're still being allowed to drive.
Yeah, I am
If this was
too.
me, I'd have been shouting at people already. I'd have got my adult voice out.
Oh, and we don't like it when Chris gets his adult voice out. It's very scary.
I mean, to be fair, I literally use the same tone of voice with drivers that I use with scouts, and it's just as effective. Which, you know, do with that information as you will. So yes, I am ostensibly saying that drivers act the same way as 10 to 14-year-olds do when you give them a, verbal bollocking.
Yes, that is fair. Why are there still guys on track that are driving right now? They should be...
Get off my land.
Right, there we go. So, our first drivers this evening for this bracket are Jitonya Vitor versus Leo Hermes. Jitonya's going to be leading... Jotinya's going to be leading first. Jitonya Vitor versus Leo Hermes. That's what we're looking at here. Jotinya is one of the guys that has signed up with us only this week. He hasn't driven with us much before, and his car for this week is a strange one. He is the first person in a long time to use that E36 turbo, the Phil McLachlan replica, and he's going to be going up against Leo Hermes, who I think has been using that V8 GT86. Yes, he has. So these are two of our more wild card drivers ready to go on the start line. I've given Anders the go-ahead. We'll just make sure. He has starter's orders. We are ready to go. This is going to be it. It is time for your top 32. Here we are. Jitonya Vitor leading in. Leo Hermes, Jitonya coming firing in there. Slightly awkward transition. It looks like it pushed chase position round and off track. A bit of a wobble coming through the end of turn 1 as well. Into that transition now through 2. Missing out on 2, but getting strongly up into 3 instead. They're now on the power. Look at that E36 starting to pull out that gap. But he's dropping wheels everywhere as he puts wheels out onto that outer edge as he comes through the final section of the track through 6 and across the line. Let's have a look at that as we go to our replay for the first time this evening. Chris, what was notable for you here?
Quite frankly, I'm just checking the VOD back, but I'm thinking it's an incomplete from both drivers.
Oh, let's have a look. So, Jitonya Vitor in that lead position doesn't get a straighten in.
Absolutely, it's absolutely an incomplete from Chase. The thing I'm thinking is, it's just, is there an argument that it was almost an unchaseable lead in parts as well?
The initiation is very strange.
Yeah, that's the thing. The initiation is awful.
Okay, let's have a look at that
and
one more
that
time.
does then set the precedent from then down. It's a really weird late initiation that pushes the chase back in the first place, and then at the end of turn 1 he has a massive understeer, just about saves it and gets back into it kind of, then has a late transition through 2.
Yeah.
And then he's okay in 3, and then he's all right from there, and then chase independent. So for me, I just call it a wash. Either call it incomplete both ways, or just call it 5-5 from them both just utterly failing to drive.
Okay, they are back under starters' orders then. So this time round it is Leo Hermes to lead in Jitonya Vitor. Jitonya Vitor in the chase position now. Is he going to be able to keep up? As Leo Hermes is going to be leading them in. So this is it, the second half of this battle. Leo Hermes off the line in the lead position now in that GT86. The judges have made a decision. I agree with what Chris was saying in that first one. It was a very difficult chase run to put in that first section. But here we go. Leo Hermes coming through much tidier through turn 1. It caused Jitonya Vitor to have that problem in that chase position coming through 1. He's checked up. Oh, and almost speared straight into the side of him. Look at that. Absolutely diving up onto the rear corner. That coming through this final section. Jitonya Vitor looking nowhere near as strong as Leo Hermes in that position. And let's have a look here as we go back to the replay.
Easy call. Leo takes the win next. Actually did a lead run that was chaseable. In chase, he still made another argument for an incomplete there. So for me, that's Leo.
Yep.
There's no argument.
And for yourself then, please, Caleb.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with all that.
All right, that is unanimous. So, our first victor of the night, Leo Hermes, advances on to the top 16. In the end, that one was an easy call. We were worried that that was going to be a repeat of last week where we had people zeroing their way through repeat runs. Our next battle this evening sees Pavel Antonik versus Tomislav Klišanić. So, this is another weird one that we have not seen before. It's a track setup that has brought out all of the weird cars as we see that V8 PS13, the replica of Phil McLachlan's old car, looking really strong coming out and being used for the first time in a very, very long time. They are under starters' orders with Anders as they come through this chicane. They are underway. This is Pavel Antonik leading them in that V8 PS13. Quite a good initiation there, but he's coming infield. Is he going to make it out into 1? Oh, he is, but that's it. That's automatic 0. We said that right during the briefing. Any wheels onto the gravel there are an automatic 0. That is not how we wanted to start off this competition, seeing people have these kind of
Ben, you're
problems.
stuck on the replays on stream, mate.
God, why is this happening to me today? And we won't even be able to watch the replay because it wasn't on.
Though for streams elucidation, yes, that was absolutely an independent incomplete from the lead. He went in a little bit too aggressive, washed out wide, grabbed the gravel on his back tyres, and at that point straightened up, which made it a very, very easy incomplete for lead, at which point there's not really anything the chase car can do. He just sensibly and safely decided to stop drifting behind him, as at that point there was...
Yeah, that was absolutely not how we wanted to see it. But
so,
on the plus side, you
frankly,
guys at home were spared from seeing that that first corner, which was, in the nicest way possible, not the greatest. Well, I apologise for that.
Well, he says he apologises for that.
I mean, having a terrible
No.
week of sleep. My brain has decided that this morning, the most important morning of the week, is the point at which it's going to just go, no, I don't feel like playing the game anymore. So let's
With not
actually
pressing the
see
fancy
the second
graphics
half
this
of this
week,
battle.
it's one
It
less
is
thing to
live
get
on
wrong.
your screens now. Let's actually see this. They are under starters' orders. Here we go. It is Tomislav Klišanić leading in Pavel Antonik this time. Tomislav going for that initiation in the E92 Eurofighter and actually getting it hooked up nicely out into turn one there, running all the way around the outside through clip one. That's the transition, potentially a little bit straight. I know Chris will have thoughts on how he was late to make that transition there, but he's dialed in now. Very straight through four to hook it up into five. Nice late braking. Is he going to be able to push it into six? No, he's not. That's a total wash. But I don't think it's going to matter after what we saw in the first run. Let's see that back this time.
Poor lead, not an incomplete, still takes the win.
Caleb?
He said it was a little bit late into one, poor transition through the centre section, low angle in the turn two, but it's not enough to overturn a full incomplete.
I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of yes, I agree to.
Because Chris is geared up with his full maximum judging voice. Well, in the end, it looks like that was potentially an easy run for us to judge. As we come back off that that replay there, I will let Anders know that we have a winner, and it is unanimous. It is Tomislav Klišanić making his way through to the top 16. Next up, you have Octavian Shellaroo versus Abdullah Abu Hussain. Now, Abdullah Abu Hussain hasn't been with us for a little while now. He's a very strong driver when he's here, but he's had a few weeks off. It's going to be interesting to see whether he's able to keep up with some of these guys who have been practicing a lot. But I haven't even had a chance to watch Octavian Shellaroo drive. He's the first person this evening to take an S13.5 in the lead position, and he's being chased by another one in Abdullah Abu Hussain. So, this is where it could start to get interesting. We know that both of these cars are fast. Let's see how we go. They are off the line, firing down to the initiation. These cars perfectly evenly matched. 800 horsepower RB28s as we get contact all the way into that first corner. That was a desperate dive from the chase position. We will see them just come straight back round. I'm not even going to go to the well, actually I will go to the replay for that because I want to see who was at fault for that contact off the line. Let's have a look. Chris, your thoughts?
Oh, good Lord, Octave, it helps if you turn around, man. Yeah, I'm just watching the replay.
To me, it looked like
Here's
lead
the
was going to go off no matter what. Chase was going to hit him no matter what as well.
To me, it's hard to see off of the replay because of the lag. I would almost be tempted to go with shared fault because we can't really see whose fault it is, because at the moment of contact they both have, or at least they both appear to have, lag. Now I don't think they necessarily did. I think that's more Ben's connection than anything.
No, I didn't see any lag. To me, it just looked like Chase or lead was going to go off a little bit no matter what, and then
Chase
was going to
dived too
hit
hard,
no matter
so
what.
It's shared fault then.
Okay, we'll go with shared fault on that, and we will send them into this. So we're already rattling through the top 32 as guys are managing to make it so that only one run counts. That's excellent. That's what we
Replays
wanted to
black
see.
screening.
Yeah, that's fine. We've got it. So
Okay,
here
you're
we
good.
go. They
You're
are
good.
under starters' orders and they are back away now. This is it. Are we going to actually get a full pull here from now Abdullah Abu Hussain in the lead position? Yes, he does. He gets that initiation, slots in onto that outside zone really nicely there. This is going to be the transition that's crucial. Are we able to keep in touch from the chase position for that battle? That is very nice through there from Octavian Shellaroo. He's managing to close that gap back up, but look, as soon as Abdullah Abu Hussain gets on the power, Octavian straightens up, trying to keep up the proximity, and it goes across the line. Let's see that back again. Caleb, your thoughts?
To be honest.
That's hard. I just wish we had a better first run.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been nice, but I think that
It's one of those where, for me, up until about clip 5, it was 5-5. I'd have gone one more time, but then Octav just makes an independent chasing error at the back of 5, loses proximity, mounts the curb, nearly straightens, and loses the battle at that point.
Yeah, that is the same for me. I see
So-
Abdullah as the winner there, so that's 2. Is it unanimous? Caleb, your thoughts?
I didn't see those. I'm watching the replay now.
Okay.
Just watch as he gets out the back of clip 5. Octav grabs a load of foot brake because he slows down because he was making a dive in the D cell. Abdul was slowing down to get to the inner clip. And then he loses proximity in straight lines over the
I just saw it.
rumble.
I'm just showing it on the stream one more time, just as we're talking about it, so that the guys can see it as we come through, so you can see where we're making that decision. It was a really close battle up until there, but as soon as Abdullah Abu Hussain gets back on the power, there's that straighten in the chase position. So that is a unanimous one. That goes to Abdullah Abu Hussain. So let's move on. Fourth battle of the night. Who will Abdullah Abu Hussain be facing when he gets into the next battle of his in the top 16? Will it be Filip Klichkowski or will it be Vincent No? Now, this is a battle I have absolutely no idea how this is going to go. I've not seen either of these two guys drive. I don't even know what their driving styles look like. It's crazy. It's going to be interesting, and it's good because this is the Mustang versus the GT86. We've not seen these two go up against each other yet before either. It could go either way. Do you guys know anything about these two?
Nah.
No, never seen them?
Nope.
Well then, this could either
No
be
idea
amazing or it could be truly terrible. So it is Filip Klichkowski to lead in first. I'm going to put them under starters orders with Anders. Here we go. They are under starters orders. Here we go. Oh, is this my end? Is this my end? Yes, it must be. That is a huge amount of lag that I suddenly got there. Wow, that was crazy. You'll see that on the cam as they get slotted in to turn 1 there and nicely across through clip 2. Look at that Mustang giving it a little bit of room. He's using that advantage where he's able to make the transition and use that wheel drop to hold the proximity, but he's dropped away again as he comes up through clip 5, slotting in now down through 6. That is a lovely, lovely lead line from Filip there.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Was it not? What did you see that I didn't see? Let's have a look on the replay because I'll show you what I'm seeing.
It was a decent turn 1, but he has lots of angle corrections through it, and he's only just in the zone at the beginning. He misses clip 2 damn near completely. He completely washes off 3. He then transitions in again, misses 4. He's then okay on 5, and then he comes in too early to 6, which means he's not actually on the clip at the clip. He early apexed. Lots and lots of lead areas there that caused some of that gap, but equally, the chase could have been more aggressive. So for me, it still goes as a 5-5.
I love how Chris says misses a
as I
clip
said,
whilst we're watching them go into an area that is designated as the clip on the floor. It wasn't the absolute closest line, but he was actually in the clip.
So he missed it. He missed it.
He didn't miss it. He was in the clip. It just wasn't a high point
No, he missed
score
it.
clip.
No, he missed it. Okay, he missed the clip. Got the line wrong. Missed the clip. Oh, no. Don't care. If you're not absolutely if you're not nailed to the clipping point, you're not on the clip, are you?
Well, then
You're on-
why have
you're
you
on-
even
you're on
bothered
one of
putting the
the vague
lines on the
lines.
floor, Christopher? Right, let's get them under starters orders
Visual.
before Chris has an aneurysm before we're listening to
No,
this
it's
feedback.
just bad lead. It's just terrible lead.
They are underway. Here we go. This is Filip Klichkowski now chasing in Vincent No. Vincent No on that initiation in the Mustang, running out to that outside line, slots into it, but drops a wheel too far. That's not going to go down well with Chris. If you're not in the clip, absolutely nailed to it. You have heard here from him. It is not in the clip. But the rest of it
See?
so far
There you go.
looking
He was
nicer.
on 3. Just about on 4.
Into
We're on
5, but
5.
that's the chase up from Filip there, trying to get that proximity back as they come round and through and across the line. Let's go to the replay for that. So, Chris,
Honestly,
what
I'd
do you
send that
hate
one
from
one more
this?
time. I don't hate it as much. As I say, I'd personally probably go one more time. For me, that the lead on the second run was better than the first, but again, the chase is really not great. I just don't think there's really a winner in there so much as there's... You could maybe make an argument that Filip had the slightly better chase overall, but then equally Vincent had the better lead. So for me, it's lead to lead, Vincent takes the win for the lead. Chase to chase, Filip takes the win for the chase. So I'd rather just send it again and see if we can get a clear winner.
Caleb?
Let's send him.
You okay there, Caleb? Have you just had a
Did I not?
little...
Did I not talk?
No.
No, you just went.
I said
and
let's
then
send
just
him
went
again.
quiet.
Oh, you said him again. Okay. That's it.
Oh, okay.
I don't think
That's
that
the word.
I might have made a different decision, but it doesn't matter my point at this stage because this is a time for them to go one more time. 2 judges have ruled it a one more time. Off they go.
Well, you have
Octav,
a bit of time
Shellaroo,
while
thank
they
you for
get
the
to the line,
subscription. Brandon
Come
Eustace,
on,
thank you for the
elucidate
like.
your call.
I take no responsibility for
You've
the
got a bit of time here.
driving of others.
You can quickly elucidate your call here. You have time.
I think that first run was not a wash because I think he at least made it into the clips. It wasn't a great lead, but I think that he did actually manage to make it into the clips. Whereas I think that wheel drop in the lead from the second run was much more inexcusable. But so for me,
the thing I said in briefing for VDC here is that owing to the fact that the only visual marker for whether or not you're on that clip is blind luck. Because you can't really see where your rear wheel is because it's either you're on tarmac or you're on carpet and it doesn't feel any different. So I wasn't that harsh on that wheel drop because it just feels kind of unnecessary to be that harsh on that because I'd rather incentivize people. But I would rather incentivize people going for that clip and going deep for that clip than being like, oh, if you get 1 tire on that, that's a massive deduction because then that's gonna that disincentivizes people from going for that clip. And you want people running that wide line there with loads of angle because it's much easier to chase.
Fair enough. I've put them under starters orders. Let's see what happens in this second running, this one more time battle. We're going to rerun the fun. Here they go again. It's Filip Kleczkowski leading in. Vincent, no. Filip Kleczkowski in the lead position. This time my stream isn't jumping all over the place as he gets out into clip 1 there. And they're both of them running out onto that grass now. As they come through the transition, he's going to be given by Chris. An absolutely not in the clip again, all over that second run as he goes through. Another transition he got into 4 that time and into 5, but this is the problem now, was it that line that's giving him that advantage in speeds as he goes through and across 6, or was it something else? Let's have a look at the replay. Chris, talk us through your thoughts here.
He transitions late coming into 2, and that's what sets him up wrong for the rest of the line. But there's not really much excuse for the chase. Like, yeah, it's a late transition here that does send him wide, and then he transitions late again that really messes up his line coming down, and he has to make a big adjustment. But Chase overdoes the angle coming down past 4 into 5, and then has a big error coming into 6, and then just completely washes.
As far as Chase goes, pay attention towards the beginning of the run. You can see that in the lead, there's some weird angle.
Yeah.
Pauses, and that kind of throws him off.
Thing that throws him off.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree with that. So, they are under starters orders. Let's see what's happening. They are down to.
I'd still go 6-4 chase, but maybe like 5-5, 4-5 chase. Like it's.
Let's see what happens in this second run as they are now underway, going into that first clip.
That is well too wide.
That was very much too wide. That was 2 wheels dropped cleanly, almost to the outside of the track. As they come through this second section, though, Filip is managing to reel him back in as they come through the transition, but there it just opens up again through 4, coming down into the D-cell at 5. Are we going to see someone make it into inside clip 6? Yes, we are, but Filip is slotted in the back position there and across the line. Well. Welly. What did you see here then, Chris?
An easy call. Would have been an easy call if Filip had just got on power coming into 6. I'd still give it to Filip just about, as I would go with
that drop.
Just because lead to lead, they're both not perfect, but at least in the chase, Filip is being a little bit more. I don't know. They're not. Neither of them are great.
Neither of them are great, but for me, the number of angle corrections in the chase position from Vincent in that first run, where he comes through 3 and really angles up, slows down, checks up, then transitions. For me, I think that's Filip for me.
Yeah,
Both was doing the same thing at the beginning.
Yeah, it's one of those where drifting loses.
Yeah.
Just to get that one out early, drifting loses.
So your vote, Chris?
Filip, I'd go 5-5, 4-5 first run chase, and then second run is a 6-4 to chase. So it's by a half a point advantage overall. Filip takes it for me.
Caleb?
I think they were both making the same mistakes both times. To me, that
So
would
you wanna
be
go
another Another one. Yeah, I just
Yeah,
want to
that's
see a
fine.
better run from both of them. One of them.
That is fair.
You know.
I think for me, there was just enough of a mistake in the chase position. I think the outweighing was the mistake in the chase position in the first run from Vincent. So for me, that gun goes to Philip, which means by 2-1, it goes to Philip.
Philip takes the win.
Philip takes the win.
I
Philip
would
Koczkowski.
disagree with how you got to that decision, though, Ben.
That's fine.
Because
We can
for
have
me,
a disagreement.
it's the leading error that Vincent made.
There
That's
were-
what pushed it for me, because Vincent dropped well wide at
Oh,
the top of clip 1.
No, that was fair, but we can disagree on where the absolute defining moment was. But I have to say the thing I do agree with is that in that one, drifting was not the winner there. That was not how we want those runs to go. However, in the next section, we have Bartek Tchaikovsky versus Paddy Walls, Jared Snowden versus Augustus Usanus, Zane Fairbrother versus Ryan Sider, and Josh Hartshorn versus Wojciech Wawrika. Sorry, it is early in the morning here in New Zealand, and I'm trying to get things going. Emil Wildman, Chris Viltovsky, you guys are just ready to hate on Chris there for that, aren't you? Let's have a look at that replay one more time from the second half of that.
What?
battle. I
Who's
just
ready?
wanna see.
Bring it! Bring it! Bring it!
Everyone loves an angry Chris Viltovsky. Let's see.
Sorry,
so,
I've had my fill this week of people being angry at me.
yeah, you have had a bad time with some people, but yeah, that was definitely too deep in that first section. I mean, that was enough for me by itself, but I still think that in the chase position in the first run, you could have had a tighter run through that first section.
So just to be clear to stream, we are saying that he was in too deep.
No, we're not doing it. We're not starting
Yes.
the song.
Yes,
No.
I am.
Contest.
Caleb, are you too young?
Immediately demonetized.
Do I need someone older here?
No.
Oh.
No. We're
Oh.
just not doing it. You have to see if the stream picks up on it. So, we are waiting for,
You all suck.
on the line,
Sorry.
Bartek Tchaikovsky and Paddy Walls. Paddy, the young man from Ireland. Oh my God, do you guys see him? I think my internet might be having, some kind of fit. Oh my God. Oh, when the stream sees that, they're going to wonder what on earth is going on. Oh, my ping. My ping is bad. Am I even still
It is
streaming?
not, and I would quote, the one.
Yeah, my ping just hit 1800.
Ah, yes, quite.
1770. That's
It's a little high.
that's a tiny
What
bit
is
on
your
the high
internet right now, mate?
side. So it's wireless to the fibre broadband. The Harlem Shake. It did look like the Harlem Shake. That is what happened there. Come on,
Oh,
let's
I feel
get these
like
guys to
you
the
for
line.
travelling, you should pack a 50-meter Cat5 cable.
It's coming back down now. It's coming back out of the stratosphere. We're below 500 ish.
Well, you know what you need to go and do, because there's only there apart from you that could possibly be using the internet. So therefore, Steph needs to be told to stop using the internet for things.
She's not using the internet, so we should be okay. It's just the rural.
Are you
internet.
sure?
Basically,
Because
so to put that in perspective, what's happening here is that I am out in the middle of nowhere near to Gisborne. We are literally on a hill. We are the last outskirt of civilization before the great wildness. And the fact that this is working at all and we haven't had any dropped stream is pretty good, you know, so far. The fact
it
that the
quite
ping
slow
briefly
now?
went up to 1800 is is fine. But Steph is not streaming porn
it's
in the
fine.
background. It's all okay. Oh,
I wasn't
so
saying she was
she-
streaming
she
porn.
heard
I was
that.
just suggesting that she has.
you weren't suggesting that she was streaming it. Were you suggesting she was making it, Chris? What were you actually saying there?
No, I was suggesting that she was hogging the download by downloading it.
No. But she
That's
did
what was
actually just
causing
hear
your
that comment
upload
and
to-
say when I said she's not streaming porn in the background, she shouted at that I know of. So
Ben, it looks like we have a no-show.
okay, who's our no-show?
Saint Fairbrother, he's our third battle in this group.
Okay, in that case,
Fine, just send that as a buy run.
Well, we got reserved, don't we?
we do have a reserve driver. So if you want to I'll tee up the reserve driver. It is
Yeah.
Warren Greener.
Okay, just tag him and get him in the voice chat so we can get him connected.
Or, you know, put Craig in. I'm sure he'd be happy.
Craig would be very, very
with
happy.
no practice in any of these cars or on the track in a while.
Craig would be fine.
But still, there's 2 battles before this one.
Yeah, let's get him queued up and carry on so that we're not wasting everyone's time on the stream, and let's get going. And Visi, Elon Musk wanted his internet back. Elon can come and pry it out of my cold, dead hands. I want this internet. It's mine. Well, it's not mine. I'm not paying for it, but I want it. I want it.
I was going to say, it's not even your house.
It's not even my house. I've stolen this house.
Yeah.
I murdered the sweet old couple that lived here. No, I didn't. That's a joke. That's a joke. We're house sitting. I didn't actually go on a murderous rampage. Come on, let's get a battle on because people are leaving the stream in droves while we're not doing any driving. And
well, clearly we're just not entertaining enough. So you know, maybe we were just too titillating with all our talk of porn.
maybe that's it. Maybe a significant number of people have gone off to see if their significant others, if they have them, are watching pornography in a room next door while they're watching digital drifting.
Yes, because then they could change it from their significant others watching porn to they could be doing other things. Hello there, Theodore. Ugh. Do you want attention?
Philip Milton, thank you for the hosting.
Yes.
Let's see if this is going to work. Steph clearly isn't streaming porn right this second because she's just brought me coffee, so that's a bonus. Thank you very much. Maybe my brain will wake up once it's caffeinated.
Have you not been caffeinated?
No. Morris Curtin, thank you for the like. Welcome along.
What just
Our
happened?
lead
They were on the
driver,
line and then they've just
pitted.
disappeared.
They've pitted.
Are they pitted? Okay, I'm just rejoining anyway, so my internet was actually having some kind of total crap fest. But we're back now. We are back now. We are on the replay cameras. I'm seeing these guys pull up to the lines. This is, let's get underway. Let's see some drifting. Bartek Kakowski versus Paddy Walls. Paddy in the chase position. Bartek Kakowski in the lead. Bartek's been practicing.
Paddy Walls.
Bartek's been practicing a lot this week. He was looking really, really good after we launched the server yesterday and announced the track. He was looking really, really strong. He's incredibly smooth in that car. He does use a reasonable amount of very, very light left foot braking to make it small, but it works for him. I know, Chris, everything you hate in drifting. Yes. I'm putting them under starters orders. Let's see how things...
And he's now just giving himself a 0 by going back to pits. So can we just call that a first run as a 0 and then just give that a 10-0 that was an incomplete because he went back to the pits without being told to? Because that's exactly what I'd do.
And they just...
It's not in our rule book, but...
Yeah, I'm here. It's in my rule book.
Your presence doesn't
And now
make
he's trying to hump us.
Is Bartek trying
to
procreate with a cone?
He is indeed trying to hump a cone.
They need to line up better than that.
Oh, hello, Ericas. I see you're watching the stream. I just saw Zamatis is now following, which is actually Ericas' name. So, hi, Ericas!
No.
This is the shit I talk when you can't hear me.
Well, they're off now. We've left them on the starters orders.
It's a lot more not safe for work.
Bartek going wide there as he comes out and through onto clip 1. Nice transition through clip 2, but Paddy Walls is staying right with him, looking really strong in that chase position. Here's the transition across now. Bartek nicely into there. Paddy just dropping back as they come through 4. Big angle from Bartek to try and make it into clip 6. Is he going to? Yes, he is. Just skims round the edge there and across the line. Let's go straight back to that replay, have a look at what's going on. Bartek and that cone, better love story than Twilight. Absolutely, Josh. Totally agree. Chris?
It was tidy enough run. I thought it was quite brave of Paddy to go for the door coming into 3, given that there was quite a lot of lag from the lead at that moment. Fairly tidy lead line. Doesn't do a lot wrong. Paddy could have been a bit more aggressive. So I would go 6-4 chase because he just didn't bring the aggression. Although Bartek's connection is letting him down something chronic right now.
I'm not seeing that, but
he has a red connection and he is like bouncing, just sat still.
Yeah, and he will be livid about that because it happened in practice yesterday, and he went from having this incredibly smooth run. Go on.
Is it connection issues to US-based servers, or does he just have like real bad?
Oh no!
Polish internet?
When everyone else's ping had settled right down, he still has something like 350 for a while. So I guess Anders will be allowing him to wait on ping. Oh, he's gone back to pits.
He's pitted.
Yeah,
and he's
he wanted to call his competition timeout.
Okay, that is
So
allowed.
I allowed that.
Yep, that is allowed. So we will see the second half of that battle in a minute. Let's move on. Next up, we have Jared Snowden versus Augustus Usanus. Jared Snowden coming in using the S15. It's his first time driving the car, I believe. We'll see what happens. Zamatis, thanks for the follow. Let's see.
Right, I'm going to get a notepad then, and I'm going to make a note of that battle, because otherwise I'll forget what I said.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
What, a physical notepad that you're writing on?
Yes.
Oh, well,
Caleb is
fancy.
old school. That's why he's got the Mustang.
No, he doesn't. He started driving an Aston Martin because he thought that the Mustang was, and I quote, not good enough.
Oh. Ooh, that's brutal.
Well, I mean, his words.
It'll be back.
Right, they are on the line. This is Jared Snowden leading in Augustus Usanus. Let's see how they go. They are now under starters orders. I've pressed send this time. That happened a couple of times last week because I'm a gibbering idiot. Let's see what happens as we get underway. This is off the line for Jared Snowden in the lead position, coming firing through. Oh my god, and he's not on the right one because they haven't switched round. Snowden, there he is, coming out into clip one, slotting in, but a bit of a wobble from Snowden in the lead there, allowing that chase position back up and in, but it's very straight. That's definitely four wheels straight going through that middle section for Jared Snowden. As he comes firing down and in, he's got a VDC name badger on. This is clearly optimistic as he comes round and through and across the line. Let's see that cacophony of weirdness all over again.
I'm sorry, who has a VDC banner that shouldn't?
I think
Because they haven't earned it?
I will make sure it's removed, Christopher. I hadn't spotted it before because he only sent delivery across this morning. Reeing aggressively in the background as
Well,
Chris Viltofsky.
just as a general note to stream, neither myself, Craig, nor any of the other VDC staff members or pro drivers appreciate it when people put those banners or the name boxes on those cars when they haven't earned the right to put them on. Those are reserved for VDC Pro licensed drivers. They're not just to be put on your car because it looks nice.
Well, I should have found it, so that one's on me. I should have spotted it and made sure that it was the correct.
Well, yeah, but
it
not
might just
really,
be. It might just be because when you sent that model back to me, that was the default underlying banner. So I don't know. I'll have to double check.
Nah, there's a number on it. You can see there's a number on it.
Okay. Well, in that case, let's get into the second half of this battle before Chris
the
reads
default banner
himself
on that
into
is
an early
Tsujigiri.
grave.
And yeah, the default banner on that is a Tsujigiri. And we had dude in E92 go out to pits, so this is all.
This is all very weird. Chris is angry. This is not okay.
I'm
Oh,
not angry. I'm just disappointed in everybody. And oh my.
well, I think Anders has let him go back to pits because the other guy went
So
back to pits.
he's
so they're
now
now
put
on fresh
himself at a
tyres.
disadvantage.
Yeah,
But that now
it's
means that
important.
the
Yeah.
chase at a disadvantage because he's got cold tyres when he could have had warm tyres and made his chasing job easy. Oh, for crying out loud!
It's okay, Chris. It's going to be okay.
Is it?
It will
Is
be
it
once we switch
Oh,
over to
hello.
being a licensed event. It will be. It'll be fine.
No, it's okay, everybody. My cat has just meowed at me and asked to be picked up, so the world is okay.
The world is
because I'm having
okay
troubles.
because Chris's cat loves him dearly. That's the important
Yes.
part.
Yes, and I love my cat dearly too.
He got fucked by the AI line, is what Anders just sent me.
Well, then he should take his bloody AI line out of his folder.
Chris has zero sympathy.
Well, yeah, because it literally in the download it is we set that download up so
Yeah,
the default
I know.
doesn't have the AI
I'm aware.
line. So.
I'm aware. Let's see. As Augustus leads in, Jared Snowden. Augustus is in that E92 in the lead position. Augustus Usanus leading us in off the line now as he comes firing down and into that initiation point. Mrs. Snowden in the chase position. Jared Snowden trying to catch up, but Augustus Usanus absolutely disappearing off into the distance as they then have another chase that messes up. Oh, look at Snowden in the background, absolutely losing control of the car Augustus leading up and through down into 6. Now on the power. That's actually not a dreadful line. Chris will obviously have things to say, but that was not an unchaseable lead by any stretch of the imagination. Let's see what caused that.
The chase just made his own bed there. He decided that instead of chasing the lead car, he would make a litany of errors that started with him going a little bit wide on one, that then meant he drove off one, that then meant he'd try to straighten, and then he over-rotated on transition, but at that point caused it to be an incomplete because he was completely not in the battle anymore.
Yes.
So 10-0 both runs to Mr. Usanus.
Go on, you can do it.
Well, we'll go with Usanus.
Okay, so I've got an opinion as well. Let's see what Caleb thinks. Caleb, you're the winner from that battle. Same thing?
Yeah, same thing.
Okay, in that case,
Completely
it
agree.
is unanimous, and Augustus gets the win. So we should be going back now to find out who he's actually meant to be going against, because we have the second half of this battle from the first half of the bracket. That is Bartek Kakowski versus Paddy Walls. Now, this is being rerun. Bartek had some kind of connection issue and has had to call this competition timeout, but that was very definitely not going in his favour from the first run when he led in. So, Paddy Walls now in the chase position. Dark GRC, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome along.
No, he's not.
Nah, so Paddy can just take a bye run and we can just move on.
Has it been the 5 minutes?
It
Yeah.
has.
Bit more than.
Okay.
Oh,
Nah, bit late.
well, he's joining. If he's in and he's drawn to the line, then we'll allow it.
Is it Byron or not?
No, we'll let him join. If he's here and he's joined, then we'll let it run. But he's got to be quicker than that in future.
I mean, for me, I'd have just said, nah, like, weren't ready when you were called to the line, you called your 5 minutes. Nope. Well, to be fair, equally, I don't tend to let people call 5 minutes in the middle of a battle. Because, no?
Well, you are allowed to in real drifting. So, who's that? That is
Well,
Ghost
assuming
Event.
the
Thank
comp
you for
even
the
gives you
follow.
a 5 minute. Assuming the comp even gives you a 5 minute rule.
That's true.
Drift Masters, you
Drift
don't get it
Masters
at all.
got rid of it.
Just
Yeah.
send it. To be honest,
Send
I think
it.
it does kind of make more sense. It's not like in any other motorsport you can be like, everyone, let's just hold this race for 5 minutes. I need to go to the pits. Can you imagine that in the middle of Le Mans 24? Revolution Racing has to go to the pits for 5 minutes and just they stop the race.
I sort of can imagine that in the middle of the. I think there'd be a gentleman agreement that would allow it. So they are now under starters' orders. Anders has control. I've sent the message. He knows they are ready to go. This is Paddy Walls in the lead position against Bartek Kakowski. This is one that we wanted to see the second half of now for a few minutes. Let's see what happens here. Has Bartek managed to get his internet sorted out? As Paddy does an enormous flick initiation. I need to go back and watch the replay to check that that was allowed, otherwise he's going to be in real trouble. But it's a late transition from Paddy, forcing Bartek onto a weird line. Paddy now on that lead position, slotting up Bartek, trying to put the pressure as they come up through 4. Paddy slowing it down hard. You can see that front wheel locking up, the smoke puffing off it as he comes round and across the line. Let's see that first section. That replay is going to be crucial for the first part of that battle because I want to know whether that was a 3-part flick from Paddy.
There was definitely a double initiation. He drifts to the middle of the track and then flicks back on himself. It's not like he's got the rear tyres slipping. It was legitimately he drifted out of the start gate and then started his flick from the track right and then flicked across the face of the chase, which you're not allowed to do. You can drive to the middle or you can have your rear tyres slipping. No, you can't actually physically drift
No,
to the
absolutely.
middle of the track.
I'm going to watch that one more time, just so that you guys on the stream can see, because this was mentioned specifically in briefing, and specifically is something that we highlight in the rule books, that this is not allowed if this is what Paddy did. I just want to watch it right from the start. So he's still got the wheels spinning out. Yeah, that is just a massive mangy from the moment he left the line, and that is not allowed. That is an absolute no-no. Bartek does an amazing job of keeping up with it, manages to stay in that chase position as they slot through, coming round and across into this power alley. But look at this from Bartek, getting absolutely lost in the smoke before transitioning there, slotting up onto the inside. Paddy doing a lot of decel there, winding the angle on late to try and get back into 6th and across the line. But breaking the rules from the off there, Paddy Walls, not good. Dango would be proud from Horizon Media. Yeah, that is a massive mangy. That is the king of the mangies. Too much mangy. A Dango level mangy. So, We go back to the first run.
Well, for the first run, I'd personally mark that first run as a 6-4, owing to the fact that there was significant lag in the lead position that was awkward to chase. But to my mind, off that second run, I would then go with that second run as being 7-3 to chase. Yeah, okay, Bartek has an angle correction coming into the last corner, but you can't really overlook the fact that the lead position there has a major error, and yeah, in fact, it is in what's the word I'm looking for? Contravening isn't quite harsh enough.
Breaking the rules, breaking the law,
breaking
the law, breaking the law.
The most blunt way to put it is, yeah, he broke the rules. At the end of the day, you are only allowed one full change of direction. You know, it's drive to centre of track, then initiate right, left, not drift out of the start gate and do a massive drift and then no. It was awkward to chase. Admittedly, Bartek handles it very well, but for me, that's a major reduction at that point. And then you've got the only real mistake that he makes in chase is a little angle correction coming into 3 and then another angle correction coming into 6. But he does maintain proximity much better overall than Paddy did. And then also Paddy isn't great on 2, and then his line into 3 is a bit weird. I would give it to I would give that to
Bartek.
Bartek. Sorry, I'm struggling
Caleb,
for
your
names
thoughts?
here. I'm trying desperately to remember names.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would have given it to Bartek even without that initiation that Patty did, just because I felt that Bartek's pace, while he did have those slight errors, it was still much closer, and I thought that Patty was a little far in his pace. So, yeah, maybe Bartek.
I think without that shenaniganery at the beginning of that run, I probably would have gone for a one more time, because I think Bartek's lack of angle through some of those sections was pretty inexcusable, because I know that car is super fast, but the just rule contravening at the beginning means that for me that's Bartek as well. So Bartek.
Yeah. For me, the other reason that
3.
is it. I would have gone 6-4 otherwise, because Bartek does do a couple of slightly odd things. But having said that, then to be fair, Paddle's lead run wasn't perfect, irrespective of the slightly interesting entry choice.
Yes, people saying a bit controversial with the overtime taken from Bartek. Yep, but we allowed it, and we'd allow it for other people as well. AJTV, thank you very much for the follow. Let's move on. That means that Bartek Kikowski goes up against Augustus Usanus in the top 16, which will be up next. Let's find out what's coming up in the second half of this battle. Do we have Zane Fairbrother? Who do we have here? This is...
it's Warren Green.
Warren Greener jumping in. So, Warren Greener...
Greener? How are we saying that?
Greener, yeah.
Greener.
From Pastures
we'll
Greener.
then.
So, this is actually not the battle that we were expecting. Zane Fairbrother has not made it to the start line, so we have Warren Greener as one of our backup drivers. That's 2 backup drivers we've needed this week, and Warren goes up against Ryan Sider in the Mustang. Now, Ryan and Warren have met before. Warren, because he's a late entrant, doesn't get the car that he was expecting. Let's see how this plays out. Warren normally drives his RX-8 with the V8 engine here. He's very competitive in that, but tonight he has been moved across onto the 13.5, stepping into the car to compete against Ryan Sider, who has got that Mustang back where he wants it and is now off the line in the chase position. Warren Greener, I don't know how much practice he's even had on this track as he sends it out into clip 1. It doesn't matter so far, because that's a really lovely line that he's managed to hook up there. Going through that transition, that is Ryan Sider maintaining that proximity with the big Mustang in the background. Look at that from Ryan. Absolutely all over Warren Greener as they come slotting down out into 5. Ryan checking up in the back position there, backing off a little bit too much. Chris will definitely have something to say about that as we come through, but overall, I thought that was one of the better battles that we've had this evening from these two. Chris has died. The cat has consumed his soul.
No, I'm just watching and paying attention. Commentary and judging, different things, mate. I can't talk so much and, yeah, nah.
His brain is not wired for it.
Nah. So we come down.
Initiation was a little.
5 into 6.
wobbly.
I'm only looking at 5 to 6. That's all I'm bothered about. So we come into 5 off 6. No, it's just Ryan gets the line wrong and puts tyre on the dirt himself.
Yeah.
Should have slowed down a little bit more. Yeah, he tried to dive in hard, and then Warren wasn't carrying quite as much speed as he thought he would.
So he had to back
So
out.
then, yeah, but he should have then backed. He should have grabbed handbrake to drag wider rather than just left foot, because it just left him up on the curb. He should have done the Martin shuffle.
The Martin Shuffle. The Martin Shuffle is the one.
The Martin shuffle.
Horizon Media Corey is saying Aidan Moffat did it in the BTCC a few years ago. There was a race that was stopped mid-race so he could jump out and run to the nearest Portaloo. Now that is legendary. If you're having to run off to a Portaloo midway through a BTCC race, the fact that you know that is extraordinary. And then at the end he said, what's that about men not being able to multitask? Chris, just be better. That's all there is to it.
Oh.
They're under starters orders.
Aww.
Here we go. Let's see what is happening here as Ryan sends it into that first corner with the big Mustang. Warren on a very inside line to try and maintain that proximity. He's coming up slightly shallow there. And Ryan has finally made that break through that middle section, getting back on the power here. This is going to be where Warren's got to put the pressure back on. Look at Ryan opening up that gap in the lead position. And now he's back on the power through here. Slightly wide at 6, allowing Warren back in onto that section. But overall, definitely a higher impact run than we were expecting from Ryan in that lead position.
Just watching back to Ryan's transition off of clip 2, because I think he was a little late there, which could have caused the separation. Yeah, he was a little late. Yeah, you can see he's a little late, because as he comes back for his transition back into 3, he literally has to grab some foot brake to not go off track. Personally, I would say the separation that gets caused there is more on Ryan for transitioning so late off of 1, which is also what pushes him wide on 2. If he'd have transitioned earlier, it'd have pulled him tighter into 2 and would have been easier to chase, because he'd have made a more natural transition as opposed to having to make such a big flick.
So, do you have a result?
So you watch.
Let's
so you
watch it
watch
again.
it. It's already passed for you, hasn't it?
It's all right. I'm starting the replay again.
No, it's sorry, because I was saying because I've got a second screen, so I was pointing my pen as to, yeah. So watch here, and then obviously it's already passed, so it's completely pointless what I was saying.
Oh right.
I would almost go one more time. As Warren does get back into that by the end, does do a good job to get back into that. But I would personally also say that the separation that gets caused is more lead fault than chase. Because yeah, okay, he could have backed out half a second earlier, but
he was pushing for the absolute limit.
He was pushing for the limit, and it's more that the lead gets it wrong in terms of transition a bit late. So but I don't think that there was enough. I don't think that's enough purely to give it to Warren. And to be fair to Ryan, bar the little tyre drop he had, well, I say little, bar him doing Mustang things on the last corner, he had a good chase himself.
Yep, I agree.
So I would say chase to chase, Ryan wins, lead to lead, Warren wins one more time.
Okay. Caleb?
Yes, man, today, I agree.
The yes man today. That is one more time times 3. We are all in agreement there that Ryan and Warren need to just do better, gentlemen. Just be better. Just stop that.
Not really. Just do the first run. Just clean it up a little bit in the chase, and then basically Ryan just get your transition timing right coming off to first clip.
So he does need to be
better.
better.
Not a lot really that was wrong with that. Well, yeah, but you don't have to be quite so brutal about it.
No, I do. It comes with the territory.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Well, it's a weird
Chris
situation.
saying you don't
where...
have to be brutal?
Yeah, I was about to say this is the weirdest situation where Chris is the one telling me that I'm being too brutal. This is insane. As the man said that if you were not actually touching the clip, you were not in it earlier. This is incredible.
Just because you're being a coward. That's different.
I like the fact that right now the top 32 writing is nicely framed by a cloud in game. I think that's very joyful. That's what I'm thankful for today. What are you thankful for today, Chris?
Well, my clouds are different. I've got a black cloud coming across to where that top 32 would. Oh wait, no, that is actually the same black cloud. It's just in a different place for you. Oh, that is perfect. Oh, I actually thought that was part of the stream graphics for a second.
I like the fact that I just asked Chris what he was thankful for today, and he didn't bite. That was me literally getting my metaphorical stick and poking the bear as hard as I could. Nothing.
Were you? That was you trying as hard as you could?
No, not as hard as I could. All right. Yeah, it was a weak sauce one.
Yeah, that was weak.
Bringing all of the weak sauce. Right, let's see this one more time. We are Warren Greener, stand-in driver, taking on Ryan Sider, the man in the Mustang who has been getting more and more dialed with that car as time goes on. Warren is going to have to put down something special in a car that he's not used to driving that much to make sure that he breaks away from Ryan here, because Ryan is going to bring much Mustang things. Look at that, straight wheels off.
Beautiful turn one from lead.
Yeah, lovely from Warren there as Ryan capitalizes on being the Mustang man by doing all of the Mustang things immediately. Is he going to be able to maintain the proximity here, or is he going to do much? Oh, good God. That is as much Mustang as you can handle.
I think Ryan needs to learn that there is such a thing as a brake.
Let's see the replay of that.
That was within the braking zone.
It was within the braking zone.
That is the exact same decel that Warren made on the first run.
Yeah.
He dragged a little bit of handbrake just coming through the clip and then just off the back of it, which is perfectly legitimate there. And Ryan just goes for the mega dive.
Absolutely.
And does not give
him
the man anywhere to slow down, because if you don't slow down into that last corner, you are not making that clip. So it's something that happened a lot through practice, and then earlier on in the VDC round that we did, is that people were getting that line wrong. So it was people trying to just send it in, but the problem is that you either miss the clip or you'll come in too early.
Yeah.
So Warren is getting it right. You've got a decel there so that it becomes a descending radius so that you come into the clipping point in the center of the turn.
Absolutely.
And Ryan just decides that, no, Warren, screw you for getting things right and trying to do the lead. No, I'm going to murder you instead.
It's all about the murder as Ryan sends it into that first outside clip. Ryan is channeling as much Mustang thing as he can as he's going out through that section now through three. He is much cleaner there, but Warren is able to stay with him, and Warren knows that he's on a big advantage there from that first run. So all Warren needs to do is make it across the line, and it looks like he's going to manage it. That is it now as they head over the line and back round to receive the result. I think...
Yep, nothing to overturn the incomplete. Warren takes the win.
Yeah, I think that's pretty obvious, unfortunately.
Yep.
Caleb, anything that you saw in that second battle that would be remarkable that we didn't see that we should pay attention to?
Nope, that was about all I saw.
Well, in that case, with a unanimous 3-2-0, Warren Greener gets the win and advances on to the top 16. This is the final battle now from this half of the top 16. What is Warren going to be facing in the next battle of his? Is it last week's winner, Wojciech Wawrzyka, in the... what's he driving this week? Something crazy. He's in a 13.5 this week. Is he going to be taking on Wojciech Wawrzyka in the 13.5, or is he going to be taking on Josh Hartshorn in the little SR20 that somehow can? Josh Hartshorn in the lead position there. Chris just already saying, no, the SR20 will not be succeeding here. This is it, it's over.
Nah, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if it was an SR24 VET Mazworks, then yeah, sure, but you know, it's not, is it?
And it would really help if I was looking at the battle as we get that initiation. They're finally into it. The camera's caught. Solid in that lead position. SR20 that can he make clip 6? Just, but it's forced that slightly less tidy chase. Chris, tell me about how the little SR20 couldn't.
It's not an SR20, is it? That's the SR22 with about 700 wheel.
Well, it's SR20-ish. It's an SR20.
Is that like saying that it's a 2J? Is that like saying that it's an RB26 when it's actually a full ported RB28?
Well, no one's got one of those in the competition, so no.
All the 13.5s, they're full ported.
Well, yeah, no, the
13.5,
13.5, yeah, but they're called an RB28. Everyone knows they're an RB28.
Yes. They're not masquerading and they're not pretending to be something else.
Well, whatever engine Josh has put into that, the rest of it's within the physics of the rules, so we're going to allow it. Let's see what happens as we come into this section. It is now the second half of this battle. I think he's still on the original engine. I'll have to double check. He'll send me the data because we're supporting him for ESDA, controversially, so I will have a look at that and see. But let's see what happens here as Josh Hartshorn now chases in Wojciech Wawrzyka. Wojciech Wawrzyka has been absolutely rock solid in his lead run.
That was too much. That was much too much on entry.
That was
lead fault.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He over-rotated. He over-rotated on entry and made too much of it, and then he lost all his speed trying to collect the car again, by which point William had nowhere to go, so it's lead error.
Let's have a look at it one more time.
Plain as day. Over-rotates, gets on power and loses all his angle. He stopped, and then when he got back on power again, he had already lost all his momentum. There's nothing that the chase can really do there. Certainly nothing the chase should be expected to do there, given that there is always such a thing as an excessive deceleration.
So do we have a winner, gentlemen?
William.
Caleb?
Yeah.
Or the man with the horny heart.
The man with the horny heart. Well, this is controversial as Josh Hartshorn gets the win and advances on to the top 16, knocking out last week's winner, Wojciech Wawrzyka. Josh was absolutely adamant to me when we were talking about it yesterday that he was going to be knocked out in that top 32. He was just coming along to have some fun, and that has absolutely shaken up that half of the battle tree. So, as things stand, before we move on, this is how your current battle tree is shaping up. I'll show that to you now on the stream. You have Leo Hermes taking on Tomislav Klashanic, Abdullah Abu Hussain taking on Filip Klitschkowski, Bartek Kukowski taking on Augustus Usanus, and Warren Greener standing in on a last minute, knocking out Ryan Sider to take on Josh Hartshorn, himself knocking out last week's winner. Now, on the other side of the bracket, next up, you have a battle that I'm really excited for. This could be amazing. It is Cormac Gard taking on Oliver Eppinger, Brandon Hogarth taking on Jack Lay, Sean Hogan taking on Jorventli Maurizia, Stephen Hatcher taking on Shay McCullough. But that first one, Cormac Gard versus Oliver Eppinger, that looks like it could be a classic. Next up in that battle tree, though, the bottom half, the last 8 to join the server will be Lewis Monks versus Josh Oxley, Douglas Silver versus Nick Baylett, Alexander Yegard versus Dominicus Gorilichikis. Sorry if I butchered that. That was awful. Let me try that again. Dominicus Gorilichkis and Vlad Zazulya versus Chris Lycup, the FD driver Chris Lycup. Now, that all looks amazing. And to start it off, we've got that really tasty looking battle between Cormac Gard and Oliver Eppinger. Chris, thoughts on what's going to happen there?
I'm not saying anything because it is well known that if a judge or commentator says anything about a battle about to be amazing, that without fail, that then means that someone is about to absolutely eat a wall or eat another car. So I am saying nothing.
That is fair.
I am not being responsible for another person ending up in a wall and crying in their crumpets.
And I am bringing out all of the commentators' curses tonight, so I'm going to hold on to those for later. I've got them in my back pocket ready to go. I've got them for everyone as necessary later on. What about you, Caleb?
I would also like stream to note that when I said crying into their crumpets, Ben didn't even question it.
No, I didn't. It's a totally normal thing. I would absolutely have a crash and then cry into my crumpets. It's totally normal. I don't see why anyone should be surprised by that. Caleb?
Yes, stream, that's right. We're both posh.
Two posh.
Well, I just wanted to leverage that curse and say that it's because it would be very difficult to do that, and I don't know how you would do that. So now that I have said it, hopefully we can see that.
Off of the back of 5.
Yeah, you can do it off the back of 5.
The only place where you might be able to.
And I would like to say that
off the back of 5 and you take too much speed, you could end up in the tyres the other side.
I do know that from experience that you can make it all the way to the tyres off the back of 5 because I got punted once just as I was going into the decel and proceeded to accelerate into the wall at 5.
Yeah, and then you sort of hit the gravel, and then it does the classic thing of you hit gravel at speed, and you don't so much slow down into the gravel as you just get sort of yeeted into the gravel, and then you ping along the top of it like it's aquaplaning.
Abu Hussain going go Cormac, Steve Smith, so only me you say it about then. Yes, see, I've got curses just for you. I'm telling you when you're good, so you crash, and then you can go and cry into your crumpets. Right, here we go. Cormac Gard leading in Oliver Eppinger. Cormac in the lead position there in that 13.5. They are under starters orders and they're off already into that initiation down into turn 1. Oliver Eppinger in the GT86 slotting right up onto Cormac Gard's door there. Really riding that outside line from Cormac. But Oliver Eppinger is able to stay with him all the way through that first section.
No.
Now is the transition. Was that contact? Yes, it was. As they come out into that outside line through 5. We're going to have to look at that.
Too close coming coming into the transition to 4. You can see
as
it. He
well.
accelerates into the door as opposed to backing off for the transition.
Let's have a look at that on the replay. I think that's correct. I think that's what we've seen. Here is that transition now. AJ, Allo Jr., thank you for the follow. Doggy Door, thank you for the follow. Excellent name, like that a lot. Here we are. This is where it all starts to go wrong for Alexander Jaegard in that chase position as he comes screaming up through 3, dives forward. Oh, sorry, for Oliver Eppinger, not Alexander Jaegard. Oliver Eppinger is in that chase position. And Oliver, you just see him surge forward there, making that contact. That is not what we were expecting to see here. I want to have one more look at that, chaps, just while we're talking about it.
Like, Cormac does nothing wrong. Cormac's holding angle, is about to transition, and Oliver just does not back off.
Is there... I cannot see the braking lights. Was there any
I can't
sort of braking?
No, not at all. Like, you can see that it's Oliver that just doesn't drop off, because when you transition there, the car does pivot across track, so the chase has to back off just before to give him the space. It's not a transition that you can go bumper to bumper through, like just by staying in it. You've got to, as chase, you need to actively sort of back off before transition and then dive back up into the door.
That is
you
true.
Just didn't give him the space.
Here we go.
Right.
They are off now into the second run. Let's see what happens here as Oliver Eppinger leads in Cormac Guard, going flying through into this outside. Crazy NSD, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome along. This is a great lead run from Oliver Eppinger, but Cormac Guard's doing exactly the right thing. He's not getting himself into a position where it is an inactive chase, but look at the speed that Oliver Eppinger carries through there. It's possible that he just was not expecting how fast Cormac was going to be going, considering how quick he is through that section. Let's have a look at that again.
That was very close to
Cormac
one.
Cormac does have a straight and sort of through 5, but it's not to the point where he's out of drift. It's just he just loses a bit of angle. Well, I'll say a bit. He nearly goes straight, but you know,
It is
nearly,
almost a zero, but
straight.
not quite. Well,
No.
Covering
enough to
himself in all
offset.
sorts of failure, but not full failure. Next battle.
okay, so that's what we're saying then, that because we're giving blame on that first battle to Oliver Eppinger in the chase position, we are giving that win to Cormac in the lead. He advances on to the top 16. Who will he face? Is it the man from New Zealand, Brandon Hogarth, or Jack Lai? Brandon is our only Kiwi driver here today. Obviously, I'm resident out here, just chilling out, looking out onto a
Fake
sort of
Kiwi.
my fake Kiwi-ness. Yeah, ginger crunch and stuff,
Ah, yes, quite.
or something. Brandon will absolutely kill me if he hears me mock ginger crunch. But hey
What
ho.
even is it?
Right, what is a ginger crunch? Oh, Chris, I'm going to have to send you... No, I can't send you some, that would be weird. I'll send you a
I have
recipe.
the same question.
I will send
I'm
you guys a
sorry.
recipe for great ginger crunch after this event. They are under starters orders. Brandon Hogarth in the lead position, Jack Lai in the chase. It is a battle of the 2Js, 12 cylinders on track, screaming down into that initiation. Brandon Hogarth hooking it up, just dropping a wheel there, and oh, definitely not slowing down enough to require that kind of contact as he just goes through there. Brandon Hogarth nicely hooked up through 2 and now into 3, but look at Jack Lai in that chase position trying to bully him around with that GT86. Bit of a straighten there from Brandon, but it's not quite out of drift, but it's definitely going to carry him wide at 6. That is all kinds of scrappy from both of these drivers as they cross the line. Well. Here we go. Let's see
I'm
this.
not convinced that Hogarth wasn't going to go wide off the back of 1 irrespective of the contact.
I don't think he was going to go any more off track than he already was at that time. It looked like it was maybe 1 wheel drop. Definitely not.
He was going 1 off irrespective of the contact, and then the contact knocks him 2 wide. But that's the thing, is that he was going wide, so it infers that he might have been floating to try and get the car to not drop so wide.
Just going to watch that first bit again.
Brandon's last name's Hogarth, right? I've got first name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's more lead fault than anything, because watch his smoke line. He doesn't really have any smoke, and the smoke is actually coming off the back of the chase car, not off the lead car.
Yeah, and we know that the decel area there ends at the end of the rumble strip, so that looks like it could well be a lead fault.
Good God, you've made that decel short. But yeah, I mean, either way, he's not on power like a long way up the track.
That is absolutely right. So we are putting them back under starters orders. Anders has them now. We will see the second half of this battle. It is Jack Lay. Jack Lai, I apologise if I'm butchering that. I'm not quite sure which way around
I'll
you
go
want
with
to say.
Lay.
Jack Lay to lead in. Brandon Hogarth going to be trying to overturn that big error from the first one. Thank you for confusing me, Chris. I appreciate it. It's definitely made things better as we go flying through. But look, Jack Lay just starting to get the power down in that GT86, but he has dropped a wheel off the inside there at 3 and again at 4, but he's managing to open up that gap. Here comes Brandon. Oh my God, Brandon turned himself into a Kiwi missile as he comes flying across that section there. Let's see, was that excessive decel?
I want to see a replay on.
Chris has gone into a sort of a feedback loop of
I don't know. It's just it looked like he'd lost a lot of speed in that lead because he was hauling, and he just in a really short space of time goes from carrying all the speed possible to slowing down.
That's a decel though.
It is a
But
decel.
it's a decel!
But here's the thing: there is such a thing as unreasonable deceleration that isn't, chaseable. So
I don't know if I
falls into
deem that unreasonable.
I don't know if that's unreasonable.
I don't think it's
need to see it
unreasonable
again,
because
but-
it's more the chase. It's the chase is closing just so fast. Because the other thing, it's if you look at chases, he's closing fast from before the start of the decel.
Yeah.
I just watched the replay. I don't think that was unreasonable.
No, I think Jack had slowed down a bit too much because he was too tight. He was coming into the inner a little bit too soon. But I think it's more chase than anything because he was closing so fast.
I mean, I don't know. I think that is right on the edge of being unreasonable. But
right.
The closing rate
so
was
close.
massive.
Yeah, it's if the closing rate there had been more reasonable and there'd still been contact a little bit later, I would be very sure that it was lead fault. But it's how fast that Hogarth came in through that whole section, like from 4 through 5, and then he makes the contact coming into 6. But
Chris,
It's safe.
let's go this way. Caleb, who is your winner?
It's Jack for me.
Okay, Chris, your winner.
I'm not sure. I'm still not sure about that contact in that latter run.
I can say that his chase was pretty inactive. He straightened up at 1.2.
Let's watch it again.
Yeah, it was fairly inactive, but that doesn't matter. It comes down to the contact for me. That's what swings it one way or the other. And then there's almost an argument that it may be chase incomplete before clip 4.
He does. Yeah, that is a reinitiation.
It
just
does
before
look like he
4.
reinitiates there.
Yeah.
So that's then irrespective of the contact, it can only be either 10-0 or 5-5. So it goes back to the first run. So then off that first run, it goes. There's a bit of contact at the start that caused it to wash.
Which I think Brandon caused. So for me, it's still Jack.
Yeah, I agree. So
Yeah,
either
so
way,
then
I
Jack
understand
takes the win.
your hold up, but for me, it's Jack who gets the win.
Yeah,
there. So
Jack takes the win.
Jack takes the win, knocks out Brandon Hogarth, and Jack will go on to face Cormac Guard. That's going to be another interesting battle. Jack's looking pretty hooked up here. Who will be joining them in the top 16? It is Sean Hogan versus Chauventley Maurizia. This could be an interesting one. The last 2 battles of this part of the bracket, Sean Hogan versus Chauventley Maurizia, and then Stephen Hatcher versus Shay McCullough. So Sean Hogan to lead in first. Sean Hogan on the line. He is the only driver. This is the problem with someone else's internet. Let's see if it comes back.
Yeah, I think the stream might have went down. Oh, no. It's doing weird things.
Wait, did it just come back?
It somehow went back in time, yeah.
Okay. Whilst that's happening, I'm going to watch the replay one more time just so you guys are back up to date. Yeah, I mean, I've just jumped 8 viewers back up, so it might be something going on there.
Well, what did you guys see? If that...
I'm just starting that replay again, so hopefully you guys can see it. But for me, on that initiation, You see Brandon come in field, he is definitely too far in, but it's not anything to cause that contact as Giovanni Maurizio dives up onto his inside and catches that front quarter. That to me is a chase problem.
Yeah, I just saw it.
Yeah, he's a long way inboard and he catches understeer just before the contact. Yeah, just should have grabbed a bit of handbrake and backed off and just let him make the lead error on his own.
Yeah, stream should be back up to normal, guys. I've put them under starters orders. Hopefully whatever caused the stream freeze is now solved. We are back underway as Giovanni Maurizio this time leads in to that first
Chase
corner.
fault, didn't give him any space to initiate.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing out there on track? At least we're getting a run, but that is definitely a major error against Brandon as he, against Sean as he comes firing through into this section, and he's way outfield. Giovanni Maurizio coming in onto that inside line. Everything about this is crazy. One
more time, inactive chase plus the clip on the entry.
Yeah, I agree. That should have been all over after the first run, but for me, that's a one more time as well.
Just works himself out of that battle throughout the chase run and just gets completely lost by the end of it and is just inactive in my opinion.
Just watching it on the replay, you definitely see that contact before initiation. I mean, that is just throwing away an advantage that you'd gained in the first run. That's daft.
Stupid.
Stupid. What are you doing? Stop it.
Yes.
Stop it now.
Yes. Okay.
One more time.
Just send him again. Let's see
Okay,
if we can get
let's
less
go.
failure. 1 more time now with 100% more failure because Maurizio disconnected like a dick.
I was so disgusted with everything that just happened there that as my arms came down, I ripped all of my mic and headset off, and everything is now tangled up and awful because of the rage I experienced. There we go. I've mic'd myself back up again. Let's see what happens here.
Someone called a competition timeout.
Okay, let's move on to the next battle then. If we've got the competition timeout, we can ditch everything we just saw. We're moving straight on. Let's get Stephen Hatcher and Shay McCullough up to the line. Stephen Hatcher to lead in first, Shay McCullough to chase. Stephen Hatcher, I don't think I've seen him drive at all in the last few weeks. I'm looking forward to seeing this.
That seems like a lie, or that is suggesting that you've not watched either Drift Masters or Virtual Drift Championship.
I have not seen his runs from either of those, as in I've not, but then I've also not seen him drive in person in the last 2 weeks, so... There's some judgment from Chris there, good grief. Oh my god, I'm trying to send Anders the word go. I've sent him cog and 2, and now I've sent go.
I think he figured it out. It's fine. He figured it out.
I don't understand why my hands aren't working as Stephen sends it in. He is in the RPS 13 in the lead position with that 2JC under the bonnet as Anders sends me a message saying, 3rd time's a charm. Well done. As we go through that transition, that is a great line from Stephen, but he is being absolutely... Stephen Hatcher in the Stefan Stefanov replica car coming firing in. It's a very smooth car to drive, slots onto that outside line nicely, but look at Shay McCullough getting right up in all his business there, even through this transition. Slots back a little bit at 2, but manages to bring the power back in and line up onto that rear quarter at 3. Beautiful transition into 4 and nicely controls things through the slowdown, not losing too much proximity between 5 and 6 and then getting straight back on the door on the way through there. Well,
I think Stephen is now realising the downsides of that car having lots of front weight biases, that it's quite slow.
it's not the fastest. It's very, very smooth, but it is not the fastest car that we've got for sure. Whereas that S13.5 absolutely rips as we go through the initiation. Shay McCullough in that lead position. Stephen Hatcher in the chase as they come round now. Jumping out onto that outside line. There's the transition. Shay McCullough getting that line down nicely. Stephen Hatcher trying to get that proximity back as he comes through this section, putting the pressure onto Shay McCullough up onto the door, but that is a dive too far potentially by Stephen Hatcher as he pushes up onto Shay's quarter and across the line.
Shay did miss that clip.
Yeah, I don't think that was so much a dive as Shay was just really, really bad because he doesn't get to 5 and then he makes a big decel to not grass cut, and then Steven's just sort of waiting for him to get on power and he kind of doesn't.
Yep. Yeah, I think because of that it's gonna go
Steven.
Yeah,
Steven, yeah, okay, it wasn't as fast a lead, but it's just because that car's not fast in lead, and then in chase he's making it work, and
yeah,
then
not
Shay
as not as close in some areas.
No,
but
you
I
can
mean,
see he's struggling for pace a bit, which is
Yeah.
not the one. But then Shay just completely misses 5 and is just so slow to
Get back on the power
back
there.
into
Yeah,
it.
that is a really late pickup from Shay to try and make up for that correction as he comes through 5. So Stephen Hatcher knocks out Shay McCullough, one of our regulars. Stephen, of course, VDC and DMVC driver, as Chris pointed out a minute ago when chastising me for not paying enough attention to his driving over the course of the last fortnight.
No, it'd have been fine because if you'd have watched Drift Matt, well, no, you wouldn't have seen it on the stream. But we all got to see the joy of Stephen putting in 2 zeros in qualifying at Drift Masters, which was hilarious.
Hilarious.
I mean, not
Not hilarious at all. So we
no,
go
no.
back. Giovanni Maurizio
We haven't mocked him at all
one
for it.
more time and now goes into called a competition timeout. He now goes into this one more time against Sean Hogan after both of them absolutely failed to do anything drift related in the chase position successfully. This is a battle that should have been all over in the first run and was thrown away in the second run. So we are here, we are ready for them to go. They are under starters orders. Sean Hogan to lead in first in this one more time. Giovanni Maurizio, hopefully now whatever problem he has brought through has now been solved after his timeout. They are off, coming through that section. Here is Sean Hogan going for that initiation. Let's see if he can get through that first corner without the contact. He's come up very shallow again. That appears to be his line. He comes late out into the outside edge of clip 1, but it looks like Giovanni Maurizio is moving around a lot in that chase position. Through the transition now, Sean Hogan deciding that clip 3 is totally optional. It's going to ruin his line as he comes up through 4, only just getting into that. And then he's coming into the decel as Giovanni Maurizio decides to go full ballistic missile straight into the side of that car and across the line. Let's see that.
To be honest, similar thing with the lead car there. Very, very, very late to pick up throttle.
Here we are.
Like, you see his smoke only picks up after Maurizio hits him. Maurizio is closing pretty hard, yeah, but it was a long decel from the lead. He was floating for quite a while.
I think I'm leaning towards one person so far.
Well, that's what we've got. We've got the second half of this battle yet to go. As Maurizio is now going to be leading them in. I will try and type the correct letters. I've only got to do 2. No, I failed at that. I sent ho.
Ho!
Your mama's hoe.
Demonetized.
You've been demonetized ages ago, don't worry about it.
I need a big old banner that I could just put up and go demonetize. Here we go. Let's see if we can actually get an initiation here. This time Sean doesn't manage to make contact with Giovanni Maurizio on the way into that corner, but he is now pushing right up onto that rear quarter. Is this chase going to be enough to overturn anything that we as the judges saw in that first run? He's really trying to put the pressure on, but it's all gone wrong through the transition into clip 3, and now he's gone sent it off track in the background there. But Giovanni Maurizio fails to get into 6 at all. This is just not the run we were wanting to see from these guys here. This is scrappy.
That still goes to Trevendley for me.
Yeah, it still goes to Maurizio. It wasn't great. It was a good first half, and then he just, from 4 down, he just starts to try and go a little bit too fast. But I don't personally believe that the chase goes off at 6 because of what Maurizio did, because Maurizio is still fine. He's wide, but he's okay. If anything, that's somewhat easier to chase because you can just chuck it in behind him in chase.
I just wanted to point one thing out, whether this is going to overturn your decision, but we did specifically say in the briefing that dropping tyres over the edge before the finish line was counted as tyres off track, and it looks to me like potentially Maurizio manages to drop 2 tyres off track before crossing the finish line because of that wide line through 6.
I mean, sure, but then does that ignore the fact that Hogan is so far off camera that when the camera goes to switch to the next camera, he's still barely on camera.
Do you want to say camera one more time, just to round it up to an even half dozen?
Camera.
Yeah,
All right.
That doesn't change really.
I'm going to ask the question.
So the only thing that could overturn that for me would be if you are suggesting that the line that the chase takes through this clip 5 to clip 6 section is the lead car's fault owing to his track position. But to me, that doesn't really fly, because as they make the transition off of 3 into 4, a good 2-car gap opens up that is maintained coming through down into that decel zone. So for me, it's the chase has the space to see what the lead is getting wrong and to adjust for it. And then there's the fact that as he closes in, he just makes a big dive at the wrong time.
Okay, I'm going to ask the question. Chris, who is your winner?
Mauricio.
Caleb, who is your winner?
Mauricio.
In that case, it is unanimous. Maurizio gets the win. I just wanted to highlight that point just to make sure that we were all on the same page with that wheel drop at the end. So, we go through. We now have 4 battles remaining to know the full shape of our top 16. As things stand right now, we have the first set of places all sorted out. Let me put it on the stream for you whilst these guys load in. This is how things sit as we stand right now. Here you go. It is Leo Hermes to take on Tomislav Klishanic. Abdullah Abu Hussain against Filip Klitschkowski. Bartek Kikowski versus Augustus Usanus. Warren Greener versus Josh Hartshorn. And on the other side of the bracket, things are shaping up as Cormac Gard versus Jack Lay and Choventli Maurizia versus Stephen Hatcher. So still to run in our top 32. Lewis Monks versus Josh Oxley, that's next. Douglas Silva versus Nick Baylett. Alexander Yegard versus Dominikis Gorelichikas. And Vlad Zazulya versus Chris Lycup. That is what you have to look forward to in the next few minutes. We are almost done with our top 32. Don't go anywhere. We'll be moving straight on to our top 16 immediately afterwards. This is getting exciting. Josh giving the support for his teammate. He's saying, let's go Scorp. Scorp is Josh Oxley. The two Joshes, Team Josh or Team Hot Boy as they've become known, are driving together this year in ESDA. We'll find out tomorrow whether the third member of their potential team, Ian Koenig, has made it through into ESDA as well. And then it is all of the hot boys in one place. That's not a sexy thing. That's just, you know, whatever. Lethal Smithers, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome along. Let's see this. We want to get underway. These guys should all be joined in by now. They hopefully haven't disappeared off into the distance whilst we are getting everything ready. Not many more battles to go in the top 32. Then we're on to the top 16. And I have rejigged my stream controls so that everything is in the right place. Oh, that's enough eyes on the end there, Josh. Hot boy with a W between the B and O. Yeah, that's something awful. I'm uncomfortable in so many, many ways.
I think that's why they've done it, because people like it when you're vaguely uncomfortable.
Good, I guess. Thank you.
Well, yeah. It just means that your chat loves you and wants you to be vaguely uncomfortable.
I'm just pleased to know that you all think about me at all.
Looks like we got a second no-show of the evening.
Okay, who is this?
Nick.
Nick Baylett. Right, get Ian keyed up then.
The normal Ian?
Yeah, the normal Ian.
Okay. Ian.
Koenig.
Ah, fuck. Yeah.
Anders has remembered how to change channel now. That's when we got it now. So, Nick Baylett, the man they story. It's important to just never ask the question about the man they call Susan.
I'm going.
I don't know the full story. I'll let him explain it himself next time he's on. I mean, he might be at ESDA, actually. I think he was going to be doing that, but that's fine. It just means that Douglas Silva will face Ian Koenig instead. I have been poured more coffee by the delightful waitress here. I really appreciate that. Just giving me a curtsy in the background.
I'm surprised she didn't give you a slap.
It's fair. That's very ooh-woo of you. Ooh-woo.
Oh God.
Thank you, Alexander Yegard.
Ugh.
Put that into the trap there. Oh, I regret doing that almost immediately, never much. So, Ian, insert the lack of upshift Koenig. That is exactly right. So, we have got these two on the line. These are two very different cars. First up, in this battle, while we're talking about Ian Koenig, we have Lewis Monks to lead in Josh Oxley. They are coming up to the line now. I will send the crucial message to our man on the ground, Anders Unger, if I can find the chat. What have I done to myself? Why is nothing working? There we go. Try and send 2 letters without being an idiot, Somerville. They are under starters' orders. Let's see how this shapes up. Here we go. Off the line now comes Lewis Monks leading in Josh Oxley. That R32 of Lewis Monks is... What has just happened there?
That was like...
That was massive lag.
Matt's connection decided to give up.
As Lewis Monks comes screaming through, I was about to say this could be very difficult for Josh Oxley because his car is much faster than that R32 on most tracks. That R32 looking hooked up. But let's have a look at that replay and watch Josh Oxley absolutely send it into space with his connection issues. Oh, wow. Well, that's not what we were expecting. Okay.
Well, it wasn't an incomplete, quite. So he does hold the 10-0 advantage, just.
Right. Let's see the second half of this after Josh went disappearing off into the distance there with his lag. Here we go. They are off the line now. Josh Oxley will be livid after that problem in the first run because he has spent so long getting that car, that V8 S14, dialed in to try and get it the grip and so that it's set up though that he likes to drive it. And he's opening up a huge gap here over that slower R32. But look at Lewis Monks diving back up onto the inside, managing to reel back in Josh Oxley as he comes through. Josh throwing the kitchen sink at it to try and get that car hooked up and into 6 as he comes through and across the line. I don't think there was anything there that overturns that connection issue from the first run. Let's see.
Yeah, if I read the rule book right, that's
Whoever lags is at fault. Josh lag is at fault for lagging, and you can't exactly put that on lead for the chase lagging behind him.
No, absolutely not. Well,
that's
Lewis picked to win next.
that is all over for half of Team Hot Boy. As we move on, that is it. Lewis gets the win. Josh will be livid about that, and that is exactly what he's worried about going into ESDA, that they will have some kind of massive lag issue at his end of the house. It probably means that 2 other people woke up and immediately started using the internet, and it's just ruined his day.
Ben, we have a problem.
Go on.
The reserve is also not responding.
Ian Koenig, you have let down everyone involved. Okay, we're going to start a 5-minute rule. The next person on that list... Oh, please tell me it's Craig.
Well, I mean, it would be.
No, it's Charlie Evans. Charlie Evans, if he's there.
It's Craig. It's Craig.
I've sent him a message. We will see. Let's queue up the next battle.
I got Jared written down here.
Will do.
So I've messaged Charlie Evans. It is 10:08. I'm going to start 5-minute timer for him. Here we go. That is his 5-minute timer starting now. You can all see the countdown. That is going on there. If he fails to make it to the line, then it is Craig. So Craig, get yourself G'd up because I have not seeing any movement from Charlie at the moment. So, who have we got now? That is Alexander Yegard versus Dominikas Gorilichicus. So, Alexander Yegard in the lead position. This is going to be an interesting one. Let's get them under starters orders so that we know what's going on. Here we go. Alexander Yegard to lead in Dominikas Gorilichicus. Dominikas in the chase position in that E92 Eurofighter, chasing in Alexander Yegard. Alexander going for that big flick initiation, out onto the rumble strip as part of his initiation, and still got to wheel off down the outside edge, but then managing to run it so he's absolutely on the line. Dominikas in the chase position, coming screaming up. Late transition there, almost straight through two, trying to get that into proximity as they come flying across. This is all Alexander Yegard so far, but now he's messed it up. He's nowhere near clip 6 as he comes round and across the line. Let's see that again. And I've just had word from Charlie Evans that he is not able to do it. So we're going to reset that timer. Craig.
Craig messaged me already, so just give me a few.
5-minute timer starting now. So what did we think from that one then, guys?
Well, it was definitely going toward Alexander until I missed Quib, but I'm curious to see the next one.
Yeah, Dominique is managing to end up very wide there as well, but that was obviously being led into that late decel by Craig going very, very deep there. And we now get underway. I've put them under starters orders. Here we go. This is Dominikas Gorilichicus leading in there as they come flying in. That's a very slow initiation, but it looks like Alexander Yegard's managed to key up for it. He's slotting into that chase position, but a lovely line from Dominikas Gorilichicus in that lead position, firing out through. But no, that's it. He's gone wide at 3, so that's wide on 1 clip each there at the moment, and he's wide on 4 again, dropping tyres onto the rumble strip, trying to get it hooked up to come back into 6, round through, and as they cross the line, he's dropping wheels again.
Yeah, that's Alexander for me.
Yeah, that's Alex.
Let's have a look at this on the replay so you can all see where we're getting that from.
It just the lead, the second lead was just
Yeah, lead to lead, chase.
Yeah. So, Alexander Yegard. advances.
Craig is actually downloading the cars as we speak.
Yes, well done, Craig. Just in case, it's good to see that you were prepared. So, we're giving Craig the remainder of his 5-minute rule. Vlad Zazulya versus Chris Lycup is next. Neha Nagashwa, thank you very much for the like. Thank you for coming along. Here we go. This is.
You did well with that name.
What was that? Sorry.
That name would have just killed me off.
Which name?
Dominikas
Gorilichicus. Well, I don't have to say it again this evening unless I really hate myself, which is a relief for me, but I'm very sad to see Dominikas going out on his first run there with us. It's good to have people here taking part that we've not had before. But on that note, we move on to Vlad Zazulya. That is who is up next. Vlad Zazulya in the S13.5, taking on Chris Lycup, who is one of the Formula D competitors of the last decade. Let's see how this shapes up. It's going to be an interesting one. They are now under starters orders. Let's see how they go. Gwintz Greconi, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome along. Here we go as Vlad Zazulya leads in. Chris Lycup, Vlad Zazulya firing it in there, just managing to come a little bit tight onto the entry to one. It's, of course, Chris Lycup onto a weird line. Oh, and was that contact, or did Vlad just throw it away all by himself on trying to upshift as Chris comes through and overtakes, managing to settle back in? We'll stay on Vlad through this. This is going to be a crucial one where we're going to have to go back and have a look at that replay. I want to see if there was contact.
Some sort of lag there, but I didn't see any contact, so...
Let's have a look on the replay.
I don't think there was any lag.
I don't think
he was stuttery when he straightened up. I don't know what that was. I saw nothing to cause him to straighten there.
So it goes to enter. There's no contact. If there is any contact, it's on his connection because he does stutter.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then,
he does a stutter.
yeah, no, if there is anything there, it was caused by him having a stutter and him having an issue to the server, not the chase. So
Yep.
No.
for me, it's incomplete, and it's an incomplete for the lead there.
Okay, I agree. I can't see anything to overturn that. We've all turned into UJ under the bonnet, firing through on that outside line, just managing to hook it up there. Good line from him. Great transition as he gets dialed in onto this track. Fast through clip 3 and out to 4. Is he going to make clip 4? Yes, he is.
Really
Just slowing down
angle.
there. Really tight. He gets it hooked up. A little bit of a nudge as he comes back onto the throttle there. 2 taps as he comes round and across the line. Let's have a look at that again.
It wasn't perfect, but I don't think that changes the outcome.
Plus, for me, the contact in the last corner was just Lad just throwing the kitchen sink at it, and yeah, too little, too late. Was pretty weak from the lead, 4 to 5. Incredibly low angle, no smoke. Was just straight lining it, but it's not enough to overturn an incomplete. It's just something to note for Chris Lycup that he needs to carry angle through that 4 to 5 section. It's not acceptable to be that low angle, but it's not enough to overturn an incomplete.
It would certainly cause a problem if he'd been against someone who'd managed to complete their first run, but that is not the case here. That means that our resident Formula Drift driver, Chris Lycup, gets the win and advances on to the top 16. Now, I am reliably informed that Craig has managed to make it to the servers.
Craig has bought Stefan Stefanov's car because he also drives in VR, and naturally, therefore being from America, would rather drive a car on the left-hand side.
The left-hand side
And
car.
The
Absolutely.
Tsujigiri pack is literally all right-hand drive.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
what's
it is.
annoying you as well?
Yes.
It's
Okay.
a small problem. There's a lack of balance.
We will solve it for the release of the Pro Pack. We will make sure there's more left-hand drive cars in. The temptation to do a left and a right-hand drive version of everything is massive, but I'm going to restrain myself. So, here we go then. Douglas Silver is going to be leading in Craig Fulgham. This is an interesting battle.
It's Fulgham.
Is it Fulgham?
Yes, it's Fulgham.
I mean, if it's a GF in the way that it should be, surely it's Fulgham.
No.
I'm deliberately winding people up, Chris.
I know, but you know.
Leave me this one little joy left in my life.
No.
I'm gonna assume there's a bunch of all caps Craigs and
If there's
Yeah,
not,
that
then
seems
chat,
to
get
be-
on that.
yeah.
Alexander Jaeger, right-hand drive better, remove all left-hand drive cars. Yes, Alex, I'm with you. Here we
Hang
go
about, Alex.
then.
Aren't you Swedish? Drive, left-hand drive.
So, here we go. This is the last battle of the top 32. It is Douglas Silver to lead in Craig Fulgham. Here we go off the line. Douglas Silver leading in Craig Fulgham. Craig with absolutely no practice time at all. He's the last-minute stand-in driver after 2 other people didn't want to do it, and he has decided to take the wrecking ball approach straight into that first corner. He's decided to turn it into a practice run by smacking people out of the way, and it's worked out really well for him so far. Look at it. It's a lovely lead line after murdering the lead car before.
So sure, because look at the lead car. The lead car isn't exactly stable, and Craig doesn't actually hit it.
Let's have a look. I'm going back to the
Lead car
replay now.
back into Craig.
Oh, that's helpful. The
And-
replay cuts to it just as he goes in, as they have that contact. So that's not very helpful at all.
Okay, as we do, we just refer back to. We just go back on the YouTube stream. But yeah, so as he goes to it, I mean, like that is a slow entry from Silver. Like he literally goes to grab handbrake before the entry line. You can see it.
I can watch it
Like-
at my end. Oh yeah, it's a very slow entry.
But for me, that's not Chase fault. That's lead fault. You've got to enter hard there and then decelerate, not drive straight at slow speeds and then grab a fistful of handbrake as well.
Okay, I'm going to put them under starters orders. They are now there. This is for potentially Craig Fulgham to end up taking a place in the top 16 after no practice, with no lead in time, coming straight in as a stand-in driver. They are off the line. This is the initiation. Look how much faster Craig is in that lead position. Then Silver in that chase, but Silver's cutting the line hard to try and get that proximity back as they come through that transition now. Craig back on the power, a lovely line through 2 and 3. Is he going to be able to get into 4? Yes, he is. That is floating nicely out to that outside line. Pushing hard now to get into inside clip 6. Just misses it a little bit there, but still makes it cleanly across the line. Does drop wheels on that last section. Let's see how we go now.
For me, I'd give Craig the win. The thing I'll say is, I think the reason why he went wide off the back of that last corner is because when we ran the event for VDC, we weren't fussed about that. Like, if people ran wide there, whatever, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
I'm just rewatching that first run.
For me, it's lead fault on that first corner. He's so slow on the entry, and then it's combined with the fact that he lags and he's really slow. To me, it looks more than anything, it looks like connection issue where Craig was just going for just door on entry, dude lags and is slow. So it's just perfect storm of just shithousery from the lead.
I don't see any lag, but I do see the being slow part.
Yeah, I see the being slow part. Chris Lycup, thank you for the subscription on the YouTube.
So if you look as he goes to enter and as he transitions across, right as as the contact happens, he sort of jumps backwards for a millisecond and then jumps forwards really quickly. It's either his computer or his internet lagged right as the contact happened. So, I mean, irrespective, I still give it to Craig. I still think it was lead fault for the contact off run 1. But I'm biased clearly. So
don't joke about it. People will take you at your word. Well, right. So Chris has given it to Craig, not in a sexy way. Ooh woo.
Well, I mean...
Caleb.
What are you going to then?
I'm asking you first. That's not how this works.
Ben's going to horny jail.
Bonk!
Vlad number 2, thank you for the follow. Come on, Caleb, we need an answer.
He was going... I don't see the lag or anything, but I'd agree he was going too slow, so... Yeah, it's going to go Craig for me.
For me, I think it's also too slow. I get a lag jump, but I'm assuming sometimes when I see those that it's my end. But for me, that initiation was almost, well, no, not almost, was unchaseably slow.
He was going to, even if he managed to get through that, I think he would have been very inside.
It would have been incredibly inside.
He was going.
So, with that... We have a winner and we have the full shape of our top 16, and it looks like this coming up on your streams.
In the next
now, there we go. So, this is how things are shaping up going into your top 16. It is Leo Hermes versus Tomislav Klishanic, Abdullah Abba Hussain versus Filip Klitschkowski, Bartek Kakowski versus Augustus Usanus, and Warren Greener versus Josh Hartshorn. That is the first set of drivers that will be joining the server now. They are then facing up against, on the other side of the bracket, Cormac Gard versus Jack Lay, Juventi Maurizia versus Stephen Hatcher, Lewis Monks versus Craig Fulgham, and Alexander Yegard versus Chris Lycup. That is looking like a tasty competition. What I'm going to do at this point here is I'm going to send those of you who are on the stream on the Twitch, who are not subscribers, off to a very brief ad break whilst we get sorted here. The rest of you will be staying with us. We'll see those of you on the Twitch in 1 minute's time. And those of you who are still with us, you just get to enjoy us talking rubbish for a second while we wait for everyone to rejoin. So, any battles there, guys, that we're excited about? I don't know. No, we'll wait for that question till after everyone's come back from the adverts, but I'm excited for some of those for sure.
The only reason I asked for that, what you were thinking there, is because I was on the edge of... It was too slow, and I think I still stand by that decision, but it was also on the edge of an OMT for me almost. But... I just needed to know.
No, that's fair. I could see why you could argue for the one more time, but I think that slowdown was too excessive to make it chase.
And yeah, that's why I ended up going for. But what's that, Chris?
Now Craig and Stephen are both driving the same car, and there's only one of them in the server, and Stephen's like, "I'll change, it's fine."
So, welcome back, those of you who have been just sent off to an ad break. Jack Lai I've been told off because I've been pronouncing it wrong. It is Jack Lai, not Jack Lay. I apologise. I said it Lai last week, and I said it Lay this week, and I knew I'd get it wrong one time. I was waiting to see who'd correct me. So now we know Jack Lai. That is who is taking over there. So we are into. Hello, Anders.
One sec.
Tell me the thing.
Do we have a updated top 16 bracket?
In the next bracket, there's going to be a problem because 2 people are running the 200 SX.
Stephen and Craig are both driving Stefan's car, so it's either you just let one of them change to another car, or it just...
Or whoever... Actually, Craig is the one who was the stand-in and didn't get a choice on what was available. So if...
so I'll let Stephen choose what you want to do then.
Yeah, because Craig has already had a choice.
I don't think Craig will mind.
No.
No.
Stephen will be all about getting in the 13.5 for maximum competitiveness, though. And then Craig will want to make a point that he can still win using the other car.
Using anything.
Well, not that I'm saying that he'll want to sort of prove a point to Stephen or anything, but I'm not.
But he'll want to prove a point to Stephen.
Yeah, I'm not saying that, but
Right. Let's see if we can get started with this. The first battle, Leo Hermes versus Tomislav Klisanic. That is going to be an interesting one to start off with. Leo Hermes to lead in first. Tomislav Klisanic in the chase position. They are on the line. They are ready to go. It is time for the top 16. Let's get underway. They are under starters' orders. It is time. Leo Hermes leading them in. Tomislav in the chase position. Leo Hermes getting off the line cleanly there, firing it into clip 1, running out to the outside line through 1, really getting on the power nicely there. But look at Tomislav Klisanic in the chase position, getting slotted up onto that rear quarter. This transition's crucial. Is he going to be able to maintain that proximity? Yes, great transition in the chase position. Loads of angle, managing to surge up. And look at that surge. Is he gone too far? There was a moment of lag there, and I think that's put him right off. But as we've always said during the rules, that is on the person who lags. We cannot do anything other than force that as they come across the line.
Don't think there was lag.
I didn't see lag either.
I think what happened there that I could see is that Lee grabs a lot of left foot brake. A lot of left foot brake. And it's more that Tomislav had to slow down quite dramatically to avoid contact.
That's within the decel, however.
It doesn't matter. There is still such a thing as an excessive deceleration.
Yeah, but I don't. Looking at that, I'm not sure that's excessive.
I don't see it being excessive.
Not when I've just watched it on the replay there. I'm going to watch it one more time, hold these guys on the line because I want to be sure about that, because I know what Chris is getting at. But I don't think that decel was excessive there at all.
But the only thing for me is that he's still got his front wheel literally locked up, coming into just shy of the actual rumble strip.
Yeah, but a front wheel lock-up on the unloaded wheel can happen when you're at absolutely wide open throttle going as fast as you can.
It can, but not with the way that happened, because his front end understeers, so he's on quite a lot of brakes to make the car have done that. I don't know. It's hard to see. It's really hard to see.
Sick Ripper, sorry I hadn't seen that. Thank you for the follow. Let's send these guys and see what happens in this run. This could be made easier for us, but we lose the replay if we start, so we're just going to have to go and see what happens. Here we are. They are underway now. Tomislav in the lead position, firing it into that outside line at clip 1. Back on the power now as they come through. Looking for that outside line, but look at Leo Hermes in the chase position, getting a little bit left behind through that early part of the track. This now getting back into the game. Tomislav Klisanic out there to clip 5 nicely on the power into 6. Is he going to make 6? No, he runs wide at 6 and ends up offline, dropping wheels before the finish.
Simply comes down to the contact off run 1.
section. Firing through. Nicely controlled there as it comes into the second half of this track. Just overshooting through 5 to make an awkward line down into 6 and across the line. Right, gentlemen, do we have a result?
I say it's all down to the contact off run 1, isn't it?
Yeah, because lead the lead. It's pretty. I don't feel that was too much of a slowdown. So, yeah, to me it's Leo.
Okay. Chris?
I don't know. I really don't know because of the way it happened is just a bit odd. Like, I don't even think there was contact. I think actually Leo, not Leo.
Position. Let's have a look at that again.
I would, but YouTube has gone down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, the YouTube's gone down.
So I will just pull up Twitch.
Refresh it, Chris.
That works.
Right, so I'm seeing it on the stream. I'm going to keep on talking through it because of the stream there. So they go through the transition coming through 2, angling up into 3. That is a lot of angle from Leo Hermes, but I don't think there's anything there that looked untowards. He's allowed to angle up as long as it doesn't affect his line. I don't think that would be considered by even Chris to be excessive slowing going through that section. Let's have another look at it again while these guys get themselves repositioned.
It looks more to me that Leo was just not Leo, that Tomislav was just expecting him to be a little bit quicker through there. Was going for the speed through that section, and then Leo goes for the angle instead, and he's just sort of committed at that point and has to brake to not hit him.
Here's that angle. Yeah, that looks to me like Leo Hermes is
just
fully
unlucky.
hooked up going through there. LAB, thank you for the subscription on the YouTube. That's good to see. Right, let's
Yeah,
carry
I don't
on.
see anything.
I'm going to put them under starters orders. They are under
How's that?
starters orders as we change back across to the live camera. Here we go. This is now Leo Hermes in the chase position. Tomislav Klisanic is out in the lead. Klisanic into that initiation, gets nicely out into that outside line, on the throttle now as they come through this outside section. Just dropping a wheel there. It's a late transition to get into 2 to try and get the breakaway speed there, and he's dropping a wheel off between 4 and 5. Between 3 and 4, and again getting wild going into clip 5, but he manages to hook it up now. Gets kind of under control through 6 and across the line. Let's see that replay.
Was that almost an inactive chase? That was
No,
quite...
not at all. Look at Tomislav's line
Yeah.
coming off of 2 into 3. He was trying to get as much speed as physically possible and drops a tyre off the back of 3 because he can't actually make it into clip 3.
Yeah, for me, this starts to go wrong as he comes out of 1 because he drops that wheel there trying to get the speed. The super late transition just means he slingshots through, misses clip 3 almost
He's
completely, and drops that wheel.
trying to run away in the lead because he knows that he's just made a big error in
Yeah,
the chasing
absolutely,
position. So
I
he's
agree
just
with
trying to gain an advantage in the lead, which is a big no-no. His lead goal is to run a 100-point qualifying line, not cut angle and run away.
Which would definitely be what we saw there.
Yeah.
So on that occasion, I would give the win to Leo.
And that is my opinion as well. And from you, please, Caleb.
Yeah, Leo.
So, after that one more time where we couldn't see a clear winner between the 3 of us, 1 to 1, 1 to the other, and then 1 to a 1 more time, Leo Hermes gets the win cleanly in that battle due to a mistake in the chase position from Tomislav Klisanic. Who will Leo Hermes be facing in the top 16? Is it Abdullah Abu Hussain or is it Filip Klitschkowski? That's who is up next. Abdullah Abu Hussain making it through to his first top 16 in a while. This could be a really good battle as we go S13.5 with the RB28 up against the 2JZ powered GT86. Let's see what happens. I'm putting them under starters orders. Farwoo, thank you for the follow, and Minette Joyce Jumahari Jason, thank you for the follow. Here we go. Let's see them underway now as they go in. Abdullah Abu, as they finally get back under position. Filip Klitschkowski diving up through that inside, really cutting the track to get the proximity back onto Abdullah Abu Hussain. And there's that contact in the slowdown. And look, is he going to make it to the wall? We did talk about making it to the wall. No, manages to slow down on the tarmac before the gravel. Let's have a look at that again.
What I was going to say is that up until that point, that was a really strong lead line from Hussain, especially through that midsection. Really nice line through there and held great angle, more so than we've really seen up until now. Missed out a little bit on 4, but yeah, he then got full on deleted at the back end of 5 there.
Oh yeah, I mean that is definitely right in the middle of the decel zone.
Yeah, it's, that was, as the kids would say, a big oof. And yes, I'm aware, everybody, that makes me sound old. That is the point.
Oof size large.
Yes.
Well,
It was not the one. It was not the one.
It's not the one. That is not what we wanted to see.
It's also, I think, Philip lags as well, because the way he comes into it like that, it looks like his connection gives up right at the wrong second.
Well, if you look at the transition before that, there was like a weird lag hit, even though they weren't even near each other, and then
Yes.
Abdullah
then
picked
the
up
bad
a
things
lot.
happen.
The bad
really
things.
bad things happens.
Yeah.
Okay, they are under starters' orders. This is Philip Krzyzkowski leading in Abdullah Abu Hussain. Philip Krzyzkowski sending it in there in that GT86, getting nicely out to that outside line. Abdullah Abu Hussain checking up, slowing down hugely to make sure that he didn't go careering into the side of him, but making a mistake definitely there through clip 2. As he gets back into it in 3, this transition is going to be crucial. Late transition from Abdullah Abu Hussain, trying to get that proximity back as Philip Krzyzkowski just drops a wheel off the side there. Krzyzkowski getting it hooked back up and across the line.
Fair play to Abdullah. He had no reason to go that aggressive in that chase. So, yeah, fair play to him. Takes the win very convincingly.
Yeah,
Caleb?
I'm with. Yes, man.
It's maximum yes, man. We're just watching that replay, but it's 3 times, all 3 of us agreeing that is Abdullah Abu Hussain's victory there, knocking out Philip Krzyzkowski. Nice run there from both drivers, though.
Next.
And we move on. The next battle comes from the second half of this bracket, the bottom section. Abdullah Abu Hussain marches on to face Leo Hermes in the in the Great 8. We are in the top 16. Our next battle of the top 16 is Bartek Kukovski versus Augustus Usanus. Now this could be interesting. Bartek is a very, very smooth lead driver. Is he too smooth? Is that the use of left foot braking going to be something that Chris is going to reach over and spank him for? That's the question that we'll have to ask as we go into this section.
I would have you know, Ben, that I would not spank someone unwillingly.
Are you sure?
Wait, hang on. Have I just given... Ah, shit. This just feeds into your theory, doesn't it?
I mean...
I've said too much.
It's on the stream now.
I've said too much.
It's on the stream now.
I've said too much.
That's it. That's it. It's immortalised.
Oh well.
That's clipped probably by now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Don't look at me. I'm eating honey on toast.
And everybody clip that.
Right.
So at what point are you going to say the phrase?
Which phrase would that be, Christopher?
The one that I'm not going to say, but you could say.
I don't think I shall this time.
And they have left the line to... What can we say instead of it? Hang on, I'm going to look up synonyms. Come back to me.
Can we get them not lining up like that, by the way?
don't like their
it does
lineup.
gain advantage. Because it can gain advantage for the lead. I know what he's saying.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't actually see that. I just put them under starters orders because I knew we were ready.
It's not
but
the first time.
It's definitely sort of lining up a little bit odd, but it looks like it might not matter as he goes way too hard into clip 3, massively over-rotates and loses all of his speed. That was an incredible bit of chase driving from Augustus Usanus, managing not to take him out as they come through that section and across the line.
I've got one.
Go on.
I'll wait. I'll time
Augustus
it right.
Usanus in the
time
chase
it right.
position. Bartek Kukovski in the lead. They're firing through. This is where it all starts to go wrong for Bartek in the lead position. Don't know how Rapti managed to hold that back as he comes through. Look at Bartek absolutely checking up into 3 there. Huge gap opens up, but that's kind of understandable. Ah,
Yes, the man is.
has a certain unique perspective on life. Okay. I am putting them under starters orders. This is it. This is Augustus, Usanus, lead in Bartek, Kakowski. Here we go.
And they're going to fling it into the entry.
It doesn't have quite the same ring, does it, as both guys drop wheels off there as we come flying through. This is a much less tidy first section of the track, but they've made it past 3 cleanly this time. That's an important step in the right direction as they come firing up through 4 and down into 5. Look at that chase from Bartek Kakowski. He knows he's got a lot to overturn from that scrappy lead that he was on a minute ago, and across the line. Let's see this again. This is scrappy from both of them through that first section.
Yeah, but I
It's scrappy, yes, but at least with Augustus in the lead, it's a much more chaseable job. His only real sin through the first section is that he comes off the back of clip 1 a little early. But other than that, he's holding solid angle, and the rest of his line's pretty good.
yeah, and Augustus's chase was phenomenal for what was in front of him.
Yeah, he did a really good job not causing contact and hanging on to the bumper, so it has to go to Augustus.
I agree. Is that times 3?
Yep.
There we go. Augustus gets the win. Augustus, Usanus knocks out Bartek Kakowski and moves on to the Great 8.
And do we now have the man with the horny heart? Yes,
Yes,
we do.
we do. We have Warren Greener versus Billy Bob Hartshorn. If I can get this to position correctly. There we go. Right. So Warren Greener is going to be leading us in first here as both of them do little warm-up things. Billy Bob in the background there. A man who lost a bet to go by his real name. His name is Josh. His middle name is William. He lost a bet based on who got further through between him and Josh Oxley last week or 2-3 weeks ago, and now has to go by William. And of course, we brutally murdered his actual second name, and now he's known as Billy Bob or Billiam or literally anything you can think of. And I'm putting them under starters orders, so I don't have to talk about that.
So let me get this
anymore.
right. This man is called Josh William Hartshorn.
Yes.
That is the most English name for a non-English.
For an American that you've ever heard. Yeah, absolutely. As Warren Greener absolutely fires it into the outside zone there. Josh, Billy Bob Hartshorn absolutely unable to keep up with that first line through clip 1 as he gets left behind by that RB28, but he's now managing to reel him back in. This slowdown is going to be crucial. Is he going to send it too hard? Yes, he is. Absolutely fires it into that rear quarter, but manages to back off enough not to disrupt Warren Greener too much across that line.
Well, I have to say that Joshua William Hartshorn did an impressive job in the chase position there.
You just wanted to say his
I
name.
was waiting the entire run just to say that.
Yep. Joshua
Billy
William
Because
Hartshorn.
from now on, we shall now only ever refer to him as Joshua William Hartshorn.
Toma, thanks for coming. Seen your message. We shall see you next week. This is an interesting run. Coming firing through.
Now, how can Joshua William Hartshorn do in that lead position? Can Warren Greener match the chase of Joshua William Hartshorn?
Are you done? They're under starters orders. I've managed to press send while Chris is having some kind of fit over Josh's name. Joshua William Hartshorn off the line, firing it. It does sound great, actually, as he fires it in onto that outside line. It's massively over-angled. He loses a huge amount of speed. Is he going to be able to put that momentum back in as he comes out to the end of clip 1? Yes, he is. Now on that transition, Warren Greener able to stay right with him there. 2 very different lines in the lead on that first part of the track. Here comes Warren Greener. Is he going to be able to control it as Joshua William Hartshorn gets both wheels off the back of the track, but somehow manages to hold it as he gets back on the throttle and through the final part of that course. That is something. Let's have a look at it again.
Those wheels off might have.
Pretty good one as well.
Augustus Ferreira, so thank you very much for the follow. It's a good line, but it was definitely not as clean in that first section. And here, those 2 wheels off, but manages to hold it as Warren manages to hold that proximity as well all the way through that section, round and across the line. It looks like that. H-Ray, I can't get this try-hard stuff though. What's try-hard about it? They're just doing the battles. Come on, let's go make 360 entries next week for entertainment. Okay. Yeah. That would be a thing. You might not succeed well with it.
No, chat can die with that suggestion. There will be no 360s on it.
Still hoping for the release of an S124 or another Benz for competition drifting. We'd definitely rock that 24/7. A Benz has been postulated, but it's whether we're
the obvious suggestion for Mercedes-Benz for drifting is the Mercedes C63s, as when you look into them, the suspension geometry on those cars bears striking resemblance to the multi-link geometry on the BMW E Series and F Series.
It does indeed. It would be very, very similar. And the nice little M113K engine that we've put in a few things over the course of the last year. So we are still in the top 16. Let's have a look at this. We are starting to see Jack Lai coming up to the line. Cormac Gard should be joining him. Cormac Gard is our lead driver, first of all, in that S13.5. Jack Lai in that GT86 with the 2JZ under the bonnet going up against Cormac Gard, the RB28 S13.5. They are now under starters orders. Let's see how this battle shapes up. Here we go for the second half of our top 16. Cormac Gard off the line. Jack Lai in the chase position, firing in now. Jack Lai making sure that Cormac doesn't get away. Everyone knows by now that Cormac is a fast driver, but Jack making a mistake as Cormac also drops wheels off the outside of the track in that initiation. These guys clearly not feeling their way around that first corner very well as Jack Lai surges up onto Cormac. Is he going to be able to hold it? Cormac on a snappy transition, just dropping a wheel out onto the rumble strip, but there gathers it all back up through that clip 6 and across the line. Christopher.
Oh, that was just weird.
It was weird, that entry, right?
It was a very... just odd. Like, Cormac just went a little bit hard on entry, but kind of got away with it, and Jack
kind of undershot it.
He just had a massive understeer. Massive understeer. To be honest, I'd still go with that being 6-4 advantage lead. It's not a perfect lead, but that is a huge understeer in the chase. It's a huge understeer.
Right.
It's only a 6-4 because Jack does a good job getting back into the fight beyond that, but it was as close to a straight and then a full incomplete as you could get.
I'm going to put them under now. That GT86, we know it's fast. If he can get away without that wobble on the way in, maybe he'll be able to break away from Cormac. But Cormac is a fantastic chase driver as they come slotting into outside one. A much better initiation from both drivers there as they come firing down and through. This transition crucial, as we know, all the way through that second part as they go into 3. Now into 4. Cormac Gard piling on the pressure on Jack Lai as we come through into this second. Big decel as Cormac surging up as Jack Lai comes one wheel off onto the inside but manages to hold it. Cormac somehow keeping it out of his rear quarter and across the line. Cormac flashing the lights as he comes over the line there.
Yeah, Cormac takes the win there. Lead to lead. There, you could make an argument they both made, sort of one mistake. Jack went too tight on 6. Cormac went a bit deep into the first clip and then chase to chase. Cormac's just nice and aggressive on him the whole way through. Jack has that big understeer on the entry for no real reason. So as I said, for me it was 6-4 off that first run, and then off that second run, that then goes as a 7-3 to the chase. So Cormac holds advantage from me off both runs and takes the win overall.
Caleb?
Yeah, for me it really just comes down to that weird initiation of Jack. Cormac for me.
And it's Cormac for me as well. That is 3 votes for Cormac. Well, there we go. We are up to 3 votes for Cormac. as they come through to the end of that battle. Cormac is the first person from the right-hand side of the bracket to advance on to the Great 8. He's picking up momentum as he goes through, despite that weird initiation where he ended up dropping wheels off the track. That's very unusual to see him make that kind of mistake. But he's starting to gather momentum, and Cormac is a regular place on the podium. In fact, even on the top step of our competitions going through. So, Maurizia Cioventli versus Stephen Hatcher. Stephen up in the chase position in that S13.5 he switched to so that Craig Fulgham can have the other car, and they are now both on the line ready to go. We have set them up.
Which is totally the real reason why Stephen hopped into the 13.5. Not at all because he's an aggression monkey that wants a car that is, half trying to kill him at all times.
Here you go. Cioventli Maurizia in the lead position in the E92. This is going to be interesting as we start to see Stephen flick it in, that big late flick. But it's allowed a huge gap to open up to Maurizia as he comes firing through into clip 2. Now he's back up onto his rear quarter. Coming up onto this section, early transition, almost a straighten from Stephen in the chase position there as they come through, but Cioventli Maurizia not making it quite out into 5 and not making it to 6 at all with that weird check-up, and it's going to cause that strange straighten from Stephen in the back position. That is not the kind of quality of run that we were expecting to see from these two drivers.
I think that gap at the beginning was caused by a little bit of a slowdown from the lead on the run-up.
Yeah.
I didn't see a slowdown in the run-up actually. I'll restart that first section of the replay again in a second, but it looked to me like a very clean run.
I think Stephen out-accelerated the E92.
Yeah.
I don't think Mauricia slows down. I think Mauricia was just
On
not...
the replay, yeah, it looks a lot different.
Okay, well, they're back under starters' orders.
Still, though, I would certainly be airing it as Stephen's advantage overall because he gets back into it and then Mauricia does wash off 6, which then causes a bit more separation. So.
Okay, they are back off the line. This is Stephen Hatcher in the lead position, this time being chased by Mauricia as they come firing out through into 1. That's a very wide line from Stephen going through the initiation into clip 1 there, and Mauricia getting right tucked up onto that rear quarter. Is that over angle by Stephen? It's a lot of angle on that 13.5, but it's got the power to hold it as they come firing through. Stephen slowing down into 5, slotting up onto the inside at 6. There is Mauricia. Cioventli managing to hold onto that rear quarter as they come through, but that was definitely a different kind of run. Let's see.
Yeah, that's even for me. Comparable gap in the beginning, but
it's the lead line.
Stephen was way
the
better.
Pretty much. The only thing he didn't do right was he didn't make the innermost point of the last turn, the clipping point, but really, really nice on the little transition, and then perfectly holds it out on that little blue bit of the rumble strip just as you go just before clip 3. There's a little blue bit of the rumble strip on the outside of the track. He just perfectly flicks it out onto and then drives down into 3, which is the exact line that was prescribed for VDC. So and little error he makes in the lead at the end, but other than that it was a pitch perfect lead run and Mauricia doesn't really capitalise. So
and that for me is 3 votes for Stephen Hatcher gets the win and advances on to take on Cormac Guard in the Great 8. So 2 places left available in the Great 8, 2 places to be fighting for. We have Lewis Monks versus Craig Fulgham and Alexander Yegard versus Chris Lycup. Will we see an all-American battle in the Great 8 off this final set of battles here in the top 16? Craig could go through to face Chris in this section, but it's going to be an interesting fight for both of them. Lewis Monks in the R32, probably the only car here in competition that gives Craig a real chance of being able to put lots of pressure on with that slower S15. It's going to be very interesting to see how this battle shapes up. Lewis Monks taking on Craig Fulgham. They are Fulgham, sorry, I will get it right. Consistency, one day. I get most of the Eastern Bloc country names right most of the time, and then I can't get Craig's name right. It's ridiculous, isn't it? As Craig goes sending it right round that outside line, Lewis Monks in the lead position, solid into clip 1. Craig managing to keep that proximity despite taking the wider line in that S13, tucking up onto the door of the Driftworks liveried car, coming through that transition nicely there. Craig just giving him the room into the decel, slightly excessive decel checkup, but look, Craig's able to capitalise by coming straight through up onto that inside line and across the finish to complete that first run. Here they are coming off the line on the replay. Nickanaka28, your commentating is impeccable. How you talk so fast. Thank you very much. I just got a lot to say.
How can you talk so fast? Well, you see, as a pilot.
As a pilot, I have access to lots of cocaine. No, that's a joke. That's a
Well,
joke.
that was the 80s. That was the 80s.
Yeah, I
That doesn't
joined the
happen
profession
anymore.
at the wrong time. Here we can see Craig doing a masterful job coming in onto that inside line, managing to push Lewis Monks round and across the finish without making contact there, despite that wobble in the chase. In the lead position in the slow down. So, Craig Fulgham in the lead. I'm putting them under starters' orders. They are ready to go. Nikanaka 28, thank you for the follow. Here we go. Craig Fulgham off the line. Lewis Monks in the chase position. Here they come firing down into that initiation. Lewis Monks getting absolutely left behind off the line there as Craig slots it in, riding that left foot brake to try and stay out nice and wide. Lewis surging up to try and get back up onto that door. Here's the transition through 2 and 3 that's going to be crucial. Lewis just getting checked up there by Craig's line, but managing to surge back up onto him. Is he going to be able to make up that distance? No, he's not. Unlike Craig in that first run, Lewis unable to capitalise on that transition into 6 and across the line. Gentlemen, I think that only really goes one way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just that wheel drop from Craig at the start, but I think it's going to be unanimous in his favour after we call for it. But really lovely lead line, but his chase was just immaculate.
Yeah. I think Lewis. It says a lot when the chase is on a better lead line than the lead car is.
So my vote is for Craig, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yep, Craig.
Craig times 3. Craig Fulgham gets the win. It is our first American on this part of the bracket through onto the Great 8. Will Craig Fulgham be facing Alexander Yegard or Chris Lycup? Let's find out now. Alexander Yegard to lead first. He's come up to the line in that 2J powered GT86. Chris Lycup in the 2J powered S15. AJW Racing, thank you for the follow. Welcome along. I'm putting them under starters' orders. Anders has control. Here we go. They are under starters' orders. Anders, our start line official and general driver wrangler, sending them off the line now. It is Alexander Yegard going for that initiation. Chris Lycup in the S15 in the chase position as Alexander Yegard slots into that outside line on the power beautifully through all of that section there. But Alexander Yegard is not shaking Chris Lycup, who's managing to put all that pressure on. Now through the transition, that S15 holding its position, and that's going to be crucial. Is that excessive decel from Alexander Yegard as we see massive contact, or was that just Chris Lycup getting all aggression monkey? Let's go straight to the replay and have a look.
The thing for me is that Alex coming into clip 5, he's really big angle. Like really big angle, and I know from when we did the event as the season 4 finale, a lot of people were carrying angle through there, but they were rolling into the angle as they got through the clip, whereas it looks like Alex just goes damn near backwards before the clip. It almost looks like he over rotates.
I think he would have carried it through. I think.
I don't know,
Chris,
man.
right?
'Cause look. Yeah, but look at Alex's front wheels. As we get about halfway through the clip, the front end of that GT86 just drops, like as if he's just grabbed a boat anchor. And
Look how low angle Chris is, though. Try to keep up that section.
And then look at the front end of the car. It's as the front end of Alex's car drops down and he grabs a load of foot brake. That's when the separation suddenly, the gap is suddenly made up.
I think that actually, if nothing else, Alex actually gets on the brake before the decel zone actually starts.
Because
the decel doesn't start until clip 5.
You're right.
And you can see the front of Alex's car dips down just before.
Yep.
So I reckon it's just Alex just goes, oh god, I'm going too fast, and just grabs all the brakes.
Yeah. If it wasn't for that early braking, I think it would have been alright.
Contact wouldn't have happened.
Let's have a look. This is what I'm watching for. So I know Chris is on the shallow line to maintain proximity. The out of 15 isn't as fast. But...
So that's now an incomplete to an incomplete because on the reverse run, Chris just straightened on his own coming past clip 4.
Why were they sent?
They weren't. I told them they could restart. We were not watching.
Oh, I was, and I saw Chris independently straighten up on his lead run.
Well.
I sent him because I had a go after Craig.
Yeah, but that was for the one before. That was for the first run.
My bad.
I mean, as I did see that. I did see that Chris did independently straighten on his lead run, so that would then make it a one more time because it was an incomplete to an incomplete on the lead run. But it's up to you, Ben, if you want to have them send it again on stream.
Yeah, just give me a second.
If you saw that and it was definitely an incomplete versus an incomplete, then we'll do a full one more time.
I mean, I can save my GeForce Experience replay. Like, I do have that. I'm pretty sure I have that turned on. Do I have that turned? No, I have instant. No, I don't have my instant replay turned on. Sorry.
Okay. Well, you saw it.
You have to take my word for it.
I take your word for it in this one. I'm happy to take your word for it. The stream might not like it.
I mean, as I say, like, if you'd rather do it so stream can see it, then like we can just rerun it. But yeah.
I have sold Anders to send both battles again. That is a full one more time. Let's actually see the battle.
Cheers.
A full one more time, reset with a new lead. Let's go again. We're not having that. Not a 0.
Now with 100% less failure.
That would be nice. That would be nice. Alexander Jaegard has to make sure that he doesn't get on the brakes until he is into clip 5. We are watching that like a hawk because we have said that right from the start, from the track notes I released yesterday to make sure that this was exactly as we wanted it to be, to the briefing we gave earlier, and all the way through the competition so far. You cannot get on the anchors until you are into clip 5. Doing it beforehand, that coming together is unavoidable. So, they are under starters' orders. This is it. Alexander Jaegard to lead in Chris Lycup for the last place in our Great 8. Let's have a clean battle this time, please, chaps. Alexander Jaegard going for that initiation. Big flick entry. Look at that, and it's carried them both off track. Chris Lycup was just not ready for that kind of initiation, and Alexander Jaegard still managed, even with all of that aggression, to drop 2 wheels off the back of the track there, and it caught the man in a chase position out completely. And Chris Lycup closing back in because Alexander Jaegard on the brakes again before clip 5. Sorry. Let's have a look at that, gentlemen. That was all kinds of chaos.
Alex is now sat on a 10 now because Chris completely straightens behind him.
Yep.
Massive, massive wash and understeer, and then he has to reinitiate halfway around clip 1.
Yeah, he was not ready for that initiation at all.
It was very, very saucy.
Yeah,
It was all of the anger.
There's nothing wrong with it. It was aggressive, but there was nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed that.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. Right.
Yeah.
They are lining back up now.
T.
Let's see. Someone asked earlier on if while I'm wearing this orange shirt, it's because I've just recently escaped from prison, and I can tell you that the only prison I'm in is the one in my mind. That got a look across the camera from Steph, who's just looking at me going, "What are you smoking?"
Nothing.
Right.
That's the problem.
That's part of the problem, is I'm not smoking anything as they get through here. But Chris Lycup getting absolutely bullied from that chase position by Alexander Jaegard as they come firing through now. That is a good line from Chris Lycup in the lead position. Is he going to be able to capitalise? He's on the brakes before the decel there at 5. This is just not what we expected from the man from Formula D as he comes across the line. That is scrappy from everyone. Let's see it again.
No, I'd say for me that wasn't really that bad. I'd say Alex did a lot more than he had to in that position.
Yeah.
Still takes the win for sure. I wouldn't say it was particularly a scrappy chase. I'd say it was, if anything, I would say it was a fairly impressive chase, given that Chris has quite a few angle corrections throughout the run. And then through the last turn is generally quite slow. You can see that from the closing distance that Alex makes through that last turn. He goes from 2 cars back to on his door. Me, Alex all the way.
Caleb?
Yeah, I have to agree with Chris. That was really, really saucy Alexander.
It was rather impressive.
Tasty. So,
yes.
that means we have the full shape of our Great 8 for you now, and it looks like this. Leo Hermes versus Abdullah, Abu Hussain, Augustus, Usanus versus Warren Greener, Cormac Guard versus Stephen Hatcher, and Craig Fulgham, making it through, having last-minute entry into the competition, takes on Alexander Yegard, who knocks out Chris Lycup unanimously in the final battle of the top 16. That is what we have next. That is what is coming up for you right now. We're going to roll on straight through into it whilst they're getting ready. I'm going to leave you to listen to these two because I have got to run to pee or I'm going to absolutely burst. The problem with being fed so much coffee in the run-up to this battle is that whilst I am now caffeinated and on the ball, I am also...
Would you just go pee?
Yes.
Just go.
Oh, good lord. I'll tell you what, shall I do the streamer thing? I'll check the chat.
Yeah, yeah.
So there is nothing on YouTube because you're all boring. Okay, well done. And there is also nothing on Twitch because you're all boring. If there are comments anywhere else, I have no idea because I'm not checking.
It'd just be those two. It'd just be those two. I think.
Well, in which case, chat, you suck. You're boring. Oh, there we go. Great. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Well, you know, don't give me anything to... Oh, good God, Augusto. Really? Really?
Can I
really?
Can I get some Craigs in chat?
Augusto's trying. Augusto is trying his hardest to make it a thing, and apparently everyone else is just like, nah. There it is. Well, I'm boring because Ben has decided that peeing is more important.
Oh, so that's why we just sit here.
Yes, because Ben has decided that he needs to pee so desperately that he otherwise would have, and I quote, burst. I mean, if Ben had, like, put it on to Leo for, like, the first run, then... Oh!
Back in.
Wow, Augusto. Wow!
Well, right, there we go. I am back and I'm a litre lighter. Let's get things underway. We are into
Great
the Great Eight.
Leo Her.
What was that, sorry?
Oh, yes, Craig. Craig is, it's a UM, it's not full ham. It's full jum.
But he's full of
Who's
ham.
our first up?
Right, Leo Hermes versus Abdullah Abu
Craig,
Hussain.
are you full of ham? No, Craig is appalled.
That's fair. That is fair. I will correct it for next time. But they are off the line now. They've been under starters orders with Anders. They are now on the way. And that is a restart. Restart.
That's a restart. For God's sake, that's a restart. Come on.
Anders called it. I will take this second to edit Craig out of existence and then back in again.
Craig.
Craig David.
Doesn't work as well as old Greg.
Old Greg. Full of jam instead. Okay.
And we are now ready to send it.
No, don't
again.
say it. Don't say it. It's protected. He's copyrighted it. Jared Dienda has one personality trait and he's copyrighted it.
Sorry, yeah, but I said sending it. I didn't say the other thing. I said sending. It was the
yeah,
pluralization.
that's what we're doing. It's yes. Not at all complex. Right, Craig, I've edited your name. It's delayed this battle, but Leo Hermes now gets to try and make it through the cones one more time as they are off into this section. Leo Hermes initiating in that V8 GT86, the only man who has brought that V8 GT86 to battle, and he is running a beautiful lead line there until clip 2 when it all already started to unravel. Wow, this has gone downhill fast from clip 1. 2 and 3 were just unchaseable as he comes surging in, trying to slow down into 6. Leo Hermes across that line there, really struggling to keep everything in check as they come over the line and through.
Honestly, I would give that as an 8-2 chase because in my mind Abdul did really well to not just run the man over.
Chris hates you. He does. He spelt my last name incorrectly. I am appalled.
What?
I'm just reading. How was the P? The P was lovely, Nicky. Thank you. It was lovely.
Oh,
it was really
Augusto can just go away. It's not the phrase I would have used, but technically
Yeah,
I am
I
on
was-
screen, so you know.
I was waiting for it to see if it was going to be said.
Okay. Let's see. As Abdullah Abu Hussain is under starter's orders now. He is leading in Leo Hermes, who had that big mistake through 2, 3, and 4 in the lead position on the last run. Let's see what happens here. Abdullah Abu Hussain did a brilliant job of keeping it out of the rear quarter of Leo Hermes as they come firing in. It's a nice initiation from both drivers. Leo Hermes really bringing the fight straight up onto Abdullah Abu Hussein's door. Coming round through this transition, this is going to be crucial. Can Leo Hermes stay with Abdullah Abu Hussain through this power alley? Yes, he can. Looking nice. This is the D-cell. Very good check up. Is Abdullah Abu Hussain going to make it to the inside line? Yes, he is. Look at that. And across the line. Let's see the replay for that.
I think that comes down to lead the lead.
Yeah, Abdul wins that. Had a much more chaseable lead. The only thing he really gets wrong is he's too tight on 6 and stays down on the inside too soon, and then he manages to keep it into 6, but he comes in too tight too soon, which is a little hard to chase. But it didn't really matter because Leo was just not really that close the whole way round, and equally Abdul had a much more chaseable line throughout the whole thing. So for me, yeah, Abdul takes the win. As I said, 8-2 off that first run, and then off that second run, I'd have gone with 6-4 to lead. Because again, great lead line. But Leo doesn't do a bad chase in the first half, but then falls away towards the end.
No, I think the chases were somewhat comparable, but yeah, lead the lead, it's definitely goes to Abdullah for me.
And for me, that is also Abdullah Abu Hussain who gets the win. So, Abdullah Abu Hussain making his first trip into our final 4. The first driver through, the first time he's made it this far. Who is he going to be facing? Is it Augustus, Usanus, or is it Warren Greener? Well, considering Warren was not expecting to compete this week because he is on the reserve list, we had the 3 dropouts, we've had all of the drivers that wanted to come through. It's going to be fascinating to see what happens. If he and Craig end up in the final, then that would be truly epic because of the way that they have joined the competition at the very last minute. But first, Warren Greener must make his way past Augustus, Usanus. That is the battle we are lining up for now. They are under starter's orders. Let's see what happens. Augustus Usanus to lead in Warren Greener. Warren Greener in the S13.5 with the RB28 under the hood. Augustus is in that Eurofighter with the big BMW N54 engine, 900 horsepower as it comes firing through that first corner. Both of these cars incredibly powerful. Look at that chase from Warren Greener. That surge up onto the inside as he comes into 3. Is he going to be able to hold it going into 4? Yes, he is. That slow down now into 5. Both drivers slowing down, but Augustus just washing wide as Warren Greener tries to correct for it and across the line. Let's see that
Warren
one more time.
got so lucky there.
Who got lucky there?
So lucky that Warren got so lucky
Yeah.
that Augustus made a mistake, because if he'd have held that through 6, Warren would have just got walked away from.
Yeah. Yeah, as it is coming into that final corner,
lucky boy.
that was just reopening the door for Warren Greener to get back into it. Augustus
Yeah.
was shy on 3, very shy on 3, the same level of shy on 3 that you have previously called not in the clip, but he definitely
Oh no,
wasn't
absolutely.
in the clip at 6.
He barely gets clip 2 as well. Like, but Warren does really well through that area, and then it's just from 4 down. Warren starts to open a bit of a gap up by transitioning a little bit late, and then he understeers through 5, and he gets lucky that Augustus got it wrong, because that's what lets him get back on the door. But
Well,
because
they're
of
under
the
starters' orders
mistake,
and underway.
it's,
Let's see how
clear
this
advantage
battle
Warren.
comes out as Warren Greener is now leading them in as he comes firing down into clip 1. That is a bit of a gap already starting to open up there from Warren Greener. Augustus trying to get back into it in the latter half of clip 1. Warren Greener on a good lead line so far and gets perfectly into 3. Now's the transition. This is going to be crucial here. Can Augustus stay with him as Warren gets very shallow during that slowdown? He's not been using the angle like other drivers, but he makes it work and across the line.
Is that shoveling up enough to overthrow that wash in this clip, though?
For me, we're arguing between OMT or Warren, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that's Warren. I don't think that's
So,
enough.
Warren doesn't really have any chasing errors. Augustus has that understeer on entry and then loses a little bit of proximity because he doesn't get on power early enough now to dive back up. But then lead to lead, so it's flip 6 area, you're saying is a wash worse. I'd just give it to Warren, just. But
yeah,
I would highlight that Augustus does a really good job in chase to not cause contact through that clip 5 area, because although Warren wasn't excessively slow, he was slower than he could have been.
Yeah.
So it does go to Warren, but again, I would like to highlight that Augustus does a really good job in that chasing position to not cause contact.
And
that's a much closer call than it looks.
Yeah, that is a win to Warren Greener. He goes through to the final 4, but for the record, I had that as a one more time off the way that I balanced those 2 battles. So Abdullah Abu Hussain faces Warren Greener in the final 4. Who is going to be taking on that other side of the bracket? We have Cormac Guard versus Stephen Hatcher and Craig Fulgham versus Alexander Yegard. I am excited for all of these battles. This is Cormac Guard.
Is warming his tyres. Cormac wants to try and run away.
Cormac is going full Yeety McYeetyson. They are under starters orders. Let's see what happens as we get into this set. Cormac Guard through by Stephen Hatcher. Stephen going full aggression there. Is that Cormac's error or is that Stephen's? We'll have to go back to the replay to confirm. As they come across the line, let's go back and watch that again.
Cormac carried crazy angle and dropped tyres over the inside rumble on clip 6 that then causes a little bit of contact.
Lots of angle adjustments too towards the later half.
Yep.
Let's see, it comes into this final section. Yeah, Cormac basically does like a double bite at clip 6. Well, through clip 5, a double bite at trying to get onto that
Cormac
inside line.
does the standard thing of Stevens just rubbed his door in and he just was trying to just throw kitchen sink at it in lead and just went a bit too hard.
Well, here we go. Stephen is now in the lead position. Steve Hatcher is under starters orders. That's sent.
Can't believe I'm saying this, but Stephen appeared to have has calmed his aggression down.
It's weird. I'm uncomfortable. I don't know what to do with these things. This is a weird emotion for me. As Stephen sends it in, is he going to be able to hold it on track? Oh, you said that.
Oh, there we go.
We said that, and immediately that was chaos. That was everything we didn't want from the second half of this battle. Let's go back.
Having said that, that wasn't. I'm not convinced that.
I know. I want to watch it on the replay. Everything about that was weird.
Yes, but there's no excuse for Cormac to just run him over.
Let's have a look.
He didn't give Stephen the chance to get back on power. Even he just runs him over because he undercut the line horrifically.
I mean, Cormac is mid-track there and is absolutely on power, but Stephen was dropping wheels but was coming back onto track as we make that moment of contact. I'm going to transition out of that.
I honestly think that's more Cormac's fault than anything. Stephen was on power. He was trying to like massage it back on track and Cormac just runs him over. Like, hello?
Well, I mean...
Oh, hang on. There is a moment there, and I'm going to have to just restart that replay again. I just want to see that again, because it looks to me like just before the contact, it looks like Stephen might have to lift out to try and get the car back under control. I think the smoke line stops, so he's on throttle all the way through there.
It does.
And the smoke line stops just before the contact.
Yeah, so we come in, flicks in, powers, I think.
Yep, there's a obvious gap in the smoke. He's slow.
Bear in mind that Stephen also goes over grass.
Yeah, but there's
so
the grass doesn't even flick up the way it would if he was on throttle, for me.
And you understand from Cormac's perspective, like with who he's going up against, he's gonna go 100, and then but Stephen ends up washing like that. So
Yeah, but I'd almost go with that shared fault,
That's what I was thinking.
because I don't think that's 100% anyone's fault. Steven's super wide, yeah, but Cormac just doesn't give him the chance to get back on track. Even he just is completely mid-track and just
Here's the next
surges
question. Here's the question
so
that I would
hard.
ask. If Cormac were actually on an appropriate line for the first half of that corner, would that contact have happened, or would he have been just
No.
that little bit further back and outfield? Or if he'd been further back on Stephen's door and not immediately along, like Cormac's rear wheel is alongside Stephen's front wheel there. Now I know Stephen's off track, but Cormac's rear wheel is not in the clipping zone. He is so far infield. So would that contact have happened
I think
if Cormac had been on a proper line?
had entered behind Stephen rather than try to enter side by side and put himself on a wider line, I don't think the contact would have happened at all. But
You told me in the beginning, Chris, that this was a very lead-dependent track. And the lead's going off track here.
it's lead dependent, but I wouldn't say he's going off track. He's already gone super wide and he's just coming back down onto the track.
All right,
Cormac's
here's the question.
Cormac's going real quick because Steven's going real quick. He's gone so quick that he's going off track, and that's why Cormac is cutting.
For me, if Stephen had stayed on throttle there, then that would unquestionably be Cormac's fault. But that lift...
I still think 5-5.
Okay.
Because Stephen possibly lifts, but I'm not convinced, because the CSP smoke can get a little funky when you drop tyres and stuff.
Let's put it this way.
And then Cormac is on such a feckin' tight line.
Come on, because the replay needs to work now. Come on, just work.
If we go 5-5 on that, then for me it would go.
Well, Stephen takes the win off the first run.
Yeah.
So if we're assigning fault, whoever is at fault loses. If we're saying it's 5-5, Stephen wins off the first run.
So this is crucial. Do we think that Stephen is at fault? I'm just going to pose this. All you say is yes or no. Do you think that Stephen is at fault, Caleb?
Yes.
Do you think that Stephen is at fault, Chris?
Shared fault for me, 5-5. I don't think that there's 100% fault on either driver there. I'm not convinced.
That's why I said yes. I think it's shared, so to me it goes to Stephen.
So you think that Stephen is at fault for that contact?
Yes.
I agree. I agree, which means that goes to Cormac. And that is as fine as it's ever going to get. But for me, that comes down to Stephen's line there. And I know what we're saying about CSP, but the way the contact happens looks like to me that Stephen slows down. I think he lifts out, and I think that's what the final nail in this disaster coffin is, Stephen lifting out there. And I think if that hadn't happened, it would have been Stephen. It would have been Cormac that was at fault. But both
As
of
I
them,
say, for me, I just think it's too tight. I think it's too tight. I think there are things that they both got wrong that led up to that contact and caused it for me. So that's why I went 5-5, and that's why I gave the win based on the first run.
Yeah, and I understand that. And this is the thing that happens. It's a judge sport. We have to go on our own opinions, and I'm sure the guys in the chat are all thinking a different thing. That's why there's three of us. In the end, it was a majority decision. I can see where Chris is coming from. I'm just not sure I agree with it. So let's see. We're going to move on. Some people will think that I just cheated Stephen out of a potential win, but we're going on what we saw in our own opinions. So now we move on. Craig?
No, I said it was 5-5. I thought I went with Stephen.
As in, I said to you, do you think it's Stephen's fault?
Yes, and you said to just say yes or no. So I said yes, but I thought it was shared fault. So that would go to Stephen for me.
Oh, for Christ's sake!
You said just yes or no. So yes, it's his
Yeah, well,
fault.
yes. Like Like,
Oh, the thing that's inferred there, Caleb, is that you're suggesting it is entirely Stephen's fault.
Oh.
do we need to run that as a one more time then? Because that's just messed it all up. Okay, so you think it's a shared fault?
Yes, I had agreed with Chris, so it would have been Stephen.
Okay, in that case 2-1. 2-1. Stephen gets the win and advances on.
Wait.
I'm sorry to cause that confusion, but I did say that before we were asking the yes or no. I did say
It is
Stephen
Stephen and not
5-5.
Cormac. Let me just be sure. It is Stephen that won and not Cormac, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
2-1 against.
2-1
split
against.
decision.
So my decision was that Cormac won that because I saw Stephen entirely at blame. So yes, that is how it's gone in the judge sport, and this time I have been outvoted. I got it wrong, Cormac. I'm incredibly sorry. I just gave you a victory that the other two don't think you deserved. I brought
that's
shame on my
fantastic.
family, on my household, and on the sport of drifting. But it means that Stephen Hatcher advances on to the final four. Everyone happy now?
You told me, you said yes.
Yeah. Do you think he's entirely at fault? Yes or no? You said yes.
The only thing I'll give Caleb here is that you didn't say the word entirely. You just said, "Do you think Stephen is at fault?" It does infer. It does infer 10-0.
I'm sorry.
Apparently,
sorry.
Caleb is being very American, very very American.
I'm so uncomfortable with everything that just happened. The guys on the stream are just sat there going, "What are these bunch of monkeys doing?" Although Augusta Ferreira is actually just saying, "I have a lovely voice," so I'll take that. That considering I have a lovely voice that is talking rubbish, and especially got it wrong in that instance.
Whoa, is Augusto buttering you up now?
Yeah, apparently.
Dick.
Right.
Sits there in chat insulting me and is now like saying you've got a nice voice. What is this about?
It's Craig Fulgham to take on Alexander Yegard. Craig is leading. So I'm putting them under starters orders now. Let's see what happens. Craig Fulgham off the line in the lead position, going screaming down into this first corner. He has managed to leave it behind, but oh look, Craig dropping a tyre off that outside edge, but Alexander Yegard getting back into the battle. But Alexander Yegard getting
Alex,
too
what are you
aggressive,
doing?
ended up stuck on the inside line. Craig firing out to this outside section and now driving away from Alexander Yegard. Where has Craig found the grip in this car to drive away from Alexander Yegard like that as they come round and across the line?
I'll be honest, Craig didn't. Alex made a big error himself off the back of 3. He got caught up behind Craig's bumper and then had to angle up to not hit Craig, and then that causes a separation. It's entirely a chasing error. And also off the back of 1, as we come into 2, he gets in an awkward position, is nearly on no angle and has to transition late, and then coming into 3, makes a dive, runs wide, has to transition late and loses the gap. He just makes... Well, he keeps making chasing errors. It is not the one.
Well,
strange as well, because Alex has looked really strong all day.
Alex has looked strong all day. Now things are getting shaken up. Alexander Yegard in the lead position. Chris is now saying that the pressure is all on Alexander Yegard. I agree. Craig Fulgham needs
I am not
to
saying
keep it
that.
out of the...
I am not commentators cursing him. You take that shit off me.
Alexander Yegard goes for his massive initiation, absolutely locks the car in onto the outside line, now goes through that transition. This is the big flick, it's going to come through here. Alexander Yegard cannot shake Craig as he comes firing out through into this outside line. This is where the gap starts to open up, but Craig sending it up onto the door there into the final section. That's an incredible chase run. Let's go to the replay and see that again.
Say that that is an example of not leaving it up to the judges. Is what that is.
Penny Wolves has now
have to do
messaged
that
me in
sort of
3
chase.
different locations to say we should go back and look at the replay for the battle before for Cormac, and I think we probably should. I might just log out of this. Once we finish this battle, I want to go back and have a look at that again in a little bit more detail, because we can, because we have the ability to. But this one, for me, is very simple.
Yeah, Craig, he killed it in the lead. Alex made a few mistakes, and then in the chase, Craig just puts on the pressure again and takes the advantage off that run as well. So yeah, takes the win.
Yeah.
Yep, that is Craig going for all. Oh my god, I really wish this would just let me type what I'm trying to type. So, Craig gets the win there. Craig Fulgham definitely through to the final four. I'm going to take advantage of the technology we have available to us here. I'm just going to log off here. And we are going to go back and we're going to have a look on the stream. Cormac raises a very good point because we did this last week and we did it to great effect last week and we have not used it this week. And on this one, I think we should. Please don't crash my computer now. There we go. So, let's watch this. This is at Ricardo Tormo. The time is correct. I'm going to press play. Let's have a look at this.
Share?
It's going to be, yeah, I'm going to share it with you guys as soon as my computer has calmed down a little bit here. Live Fast, thank you for the follow. Kana9E, thank you for the follow. Let's have another look at this. You guys want me to share it? That's what I'm doing here. Share my screen with you guys. Go live. Let's have a look at this. It's just loading in now. Okay, so we are looking for...
I mean, even if we find something here, are we going to reverse a call like that?
Seeing as we didn't look at this and we probably should have, I would reverse a call if we need to.
I'm checking back on my own replay as well. So Stephen flicks in, goes a bit deep, full throttle, half throttle, half throttle, half throttle. He's absolutely full on throttle when Cormac absolutely murders him. He does go about half throttle for maybe half a second, but literally it's half throttle for half a second. Nah, that doesn't really convince me of much else. So when you're saying Stephen was off throttle, he was in fact full on throttle. If you watch the throttle trace.
Yeah, that.
I can see his tyre pickup. Yeah, he's on throttle, but it's just not showing because it's back here.
Which, fortunately, the throttle trace is accurate. The brake trace is the one that lies to you.
Don't tell me I have to reverse it to them again.
Nope.
No, we're just double checking.
Okay.
I'm still happy saying that it's a shared fault as Cormac. I still feel that there is a certain amount of blame to be laid on the lead line for going so wide, but I also feel that Cormac did not have to delete him that badly. He could have just sat on handbrake, sat back, and let him get back into it, and just given Stephen the big disadvantage in the lead position for making the error. So I'm still happy calling it as a shared fault. I'm still fairly convinced of that, but I don't see how that is 100% Stephen's fault. I just don't.
I can understand Cormac's point of view from it. You know, they're
No,
going so
I can understand how Cormac is
here's the
annoyed,
thing.
but...
My opinion was that originally I thought that was entirely Stephen's fault, but having now looked at that throttle trace, I think that you guys were potentially on the money with that. I'm just going to say it one more time here so that you guys can see it on the stream as well. Here we have the throttle trace deliberately. We know the throttle trace is good. We know the brake trace is bad, but generally the throttle trace is good. He's on throttle here. This is as he's starting to wash off. This is where he's part throttle. But here's the crucial thing. You can see in the wheels when it's off throttle as well. It starts to slow down there, but as soon as he gets back on, it starts to pick right back up. That's that bump there. It barely affects his speed, and Cormac is still tanking in from that entire time. So yeah,
So to answer you in chat there, Cormac, yeah, he is 2 tyres off. But the thing you've got to remember is that it's 3 tyres off as a 0. So him being 2 tyres off here is a major deduction in lead. You've also got to consider your position in chase. You are miles under his lead line. You are going absolutely as hard as you can on a massive undercut. And when you saw Stephen going wide, you have to let him make the mistake. You don't let him make the mistake. You just dive through his door at Mach 1 when you can see he's gone wide. Just because the lead car is offline, that doesn't give the chase car the right to just smash them off the track. That's not the way it works. There is responsibility on the chase driver to not cause contact. At the end of the day, the thing you have to remember is that drifting is a non-contact sport.
Well, it should be anyway. Jamie Bowers, thank you for the follow. You join us at a very strange point in this evening's proceedings, but thankfully for Anders, I have had my opinion change. So I was the one that was in favour of Cormac there, but I have now gone back and watched it, and I have had my opinion change. So that's where we're at. It's now unanimously in Stephen's favour there. So let's get back to things. That means that we now have the full shape of our final four. I'm sending this through now as our final description of this final four. This is where we've gone to. We've had a look at it repeatedly, and this is how your bracket now looks. It is Abdullah Abu Hussain, his first time in our final four, going up against Warren Greener, who has been here before, but normally it's in a different car, going on that left-hand side of the bracket. Then on the right-hand side of the bracket, it is Stephen Hatcher, after that controversial call that we just had there, taking on Craig Fulgham. That is how things shape up. That is the end of the battle tree coming into view. We are on to the final four. We are almost ready to go. Let's get back to the action cams, and I'm going to tell Anders to line them up. So here we go. Final four. After all that controversy, let's go. We've got to be sure. We've got to be sure we have the technology and we can see this, so let's be sure.
Who's going to be going up?
So our first battle is Abdullah Abu Hussain versus Warren Greener.
Let us fling it, because that's what we're allowed to say.
Let's fling it. If you have any poo, fling it now.
Have you been watching Futurama lately?
That's from
Madagascar.
That's Family Guy,
Madagascar.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, no. Oh, no. I've just confused Futurama with that. Oh.
Yeah, there you go. Now you're bad.
I
They're under
shall
starters
hand
orders.
in my nerd card. And
We have got two S13.5s with the RB28 going up against each other. This is Abdullah Abu Hussain versus Warren Greener. Abdullah in the yellow car, Warren in the blue as they come firing in. That's a big flick from both drivers. Look at that. Beautiful initiation from Abdullah Abu Hussain, staying on that throttle all the way through.
No, it was a bit of a double initiation.
Was it a double initiation? We'll go back and watch that again in that replay, but Warren Greener's right with him. Could this be the undoing of Abdullah Abu Hussain as they come steaming in? Warren Greener's right up onto the quarter. Abdullah Abu Hussain taking a huge amount of slowdown through that section and across the line. Let's go back to the replay camera. I want to see that entry.
Yeah,
It was not a bad double flick, but he did flick left before he flicked right. It wasn't a drive. You could see there was slip angle there.
Yep.
So it is a lead error prior to the entry as well. So for consistency's sake, we have to mark him down heavily for that, as we did earlier with a prior battle. And then that decel was a lot.
That was a lot of decel. In fact, that decel, he was still on the brakes into the area that is not part of the decel zone, so that is definitely a problem there.
Man's slowed down.
Well, this puts all of the pressure on Warren Greener. He is the man now in a position to take his place in the final. This is for the place in the final. Here we go. Warren Greener to lead in Abdullah Abu Hussain as they come firing down into that initiation. Much tidier initiation from both guys there, and Abdullah Abu Hussain's able to stay right up onto that rear quarter. Warren Greener starting to put the power down now. It's a late transition from Abdullah Abu Hussain. Is he going to get left behind through this section? That's much more like it from the man in the chase position as Warren Greener slows down and Abdullah Abu Hussain hits him into that decel section as they come back on the power, round and across the line. Let's go.
That was a very reasonable slowdown from Warren. I don't think that hit was warranted there.
My only thing is that the contact happens in a very similar way, so I just want to make damn sure that we're happy.
He slowed down right where it meant to, from what I could see.
Yeah, but it does look very, very similar, so I just want to see where his throttle picks back up here. It's before the end of the. It is before the end.
I think it's just Abdul goes a bit hard. I mean, to be fair, as I was alluding to after that first run, for consistency's sake, we have to be harsh on Abdul for the double initiation, and then Warren does nearly kind of does
He
it.
basically does it.
But he drives to the center of track and then flicks. He's not really in any slip angle at that point, whereas Abdul was in full slip angle.
Even taking the slip angle out, it would still go to Warren for me because of that.
Yeah, I don't think the contact is really Warren's fault. I don't think it was too bad. I'd still go Warren.
Had too much decel and hit the lead, so yeah, it's Warren.
Yeah, Warren.
Sebas102309, hello, welcome to the chat. Right, and that is unanimous. I have also gone for Warren. That means that Warren Greener takes his place in the final. He is our first person through into the final. He will lead in that final battle of the night. Will he be facing Stephen Hatcher or will he be facing Craig Fulgham? Either way.
The real question here is, can Stephen hold on to his nerves in spite of the fact that he's now battling the guy who has been live streaming him all season?
Oh, now you're just trying to put the pressure on. That is mean.
What?
To wait until now to pull the pressure on. Wow.
What?
Either way, Abdullah Hussain gets another chance at the podium as Chris has gone absolute bastard on everybody there. Stephen Hatcher in the lead position, taking on Craig Fulgham. This is for a place in the final. They are under starters' orders. Let's see how it goes. They are lined up.
Staring at each other in VR.
Yeah, just gazing longingly across at each other. Here we go. Stephen Hatcher goes for the initiation. Craig Fulgham in that RPS 13, the Stefan Stefanov replica, managing to keep that proximity with the much faster car as he's coming up onto that quarter. This is where the RPS 13 with the 2J in the background, that Stefan Stefanov car is going to get left behind a little bit by the RB28, but Stephen doesn't open up the gap we're expecting as Craig gets onto the door way too aggressively as he comes through that section there. Was that too much slowdown? Let's have a look at the replay. Sebas102309, thanks for the follow. Tropcalls,
that was
thanks
just
for the
Craig
follow.
going for a bit of tapping.
Just a bit of light tapping. A light hello. Just wanted to remind you I'm here.
Like how
Good
close
day.
he gets here at initiation.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Craig is a really good driver.
I think that was just a tiny bit too aggressive into the slowdown. That's the only thing. He just coming into 6. I think that Stephen was on the power at the right time. So.
Oh yeah, no, Craig was just going like he knows that 13.5 is a bit quicker to pick up speed, so he was just going full throttle, and the 13.5 just didn't quite pick up speed as fast as he expected.
Yeah.
I'd still give that as a very strong 6.4 to chase, if not a 7.3, because it was a masterclass. Other than that, pretty much. And now on the reverse of that, I say that. Now Stephen, a little bit of contact there just at the end of clip 1.
But then Craig
That's really how Stephen managed.
Oh, Stephen gets himself hooked up there and struggles to try and make that transition. And there's the slowdown.
Yeah.
That's going to be it.
You did it. That's your fault, Chris. That's all your
Woo!
Let's transition and watch that. I want to see that from the start again because that looked to me like there was wheels off by Craig. Everything was a little bit weird in that beginning. So wheels off by Craig here.
I mean, he's one wheel a little bit deep, sure, but
there's the transition.
It doesn't cause this.
This is where it all starts to go wrong. That's a straighten from Stephen, who then gets the angle up, gets the wheel off, and then into here.
He has to make a big dive.
Yeah, trying to make the dive, and it all goes wrong. That, for me, that set of errors outweighs Craig's set of errors.
Yep.
Which means...
I mean, all Craig really did wrong is he went one tyre deep on the initiation on his lead, and then on the chase he just tapped Stephen from being a bit too aggressive. But yeah, that's Craig all day long.
Which means that...
Stephen versus Abdullah in third place.
Thank you very much. That's good. I'm glad I was able to pace things in a way that generated some tension.
Nope.
So, Abdullah Abu Hussain takes on Stephen Hatcher for the final spot on the podium. It's an all 13.5 face-off for third place. There are 3 13.5s vying for the podium here, Craig being the only person not using one. We are showing you now, this is how the battle tree is shaping up for this final section here, just so you see it one more time before we move on into the final itself, well, the final and the playoff. This is how things are shaping up right now. These are your final 2 battles of the night. It is Abdullah Abu Hussain taking on Stephen Hatcher and Warren Greener taking on Craig Fulgham. That is it. Last 2 battles of the night. Let's get this underway. We are starting off with Abdullah Abu Hussain versus Stephen Hatcher. They are in the playoff for the last place on the podium. Let's get them to the line. I'm putting them straight under starters' orders. So, Abdullah Abu Hussain, his first shot at a place in the... This is his first chance to get a podium. He has never been in this position with us before. What were you going to say about Stephen there, Chris?
Oh, he must hate me because my parting comment when I left that chat.
Don't be too aggressive.
Don't expletive.
Oh, talking of too aggressive.
You did it to him.
You did it to him again. You just threw the cursor round. Look at that as Stephen's just struggling to stay with that lovely lead line
You're
from Abdullah
awful,
Abu
Chris.
Hussain. You are a terrible
You're
human being,
awful.
Chris Viltovsky. As Abdullah Abu Hussain massages that car forward, Stephen's desperately trying to stay back in the battle as he comes across the line. Let's watch that again.
You.
As I said, he must hate me right now. It's fine.
He definitely hates you after that. Let's see. Here we go. Abdullah Abu Hussain, is there anything wrong with that initiation? I didn't see anything wrong with it at all.
Stephen just enters too late.
Stephen's
He tries to
just-
enter. He tries to go for a flick like he's in the RX-8, and the car goes, "I am not an RX-8," and just doesn't do it.
That is
Uh,
not how he would have wanted this final section to
to
go.
be fair, though, from about clip 3 down, he gets back into that hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he does.
Absolutely.
So I would still give it as a 6-4 chase because he does a valiant effort to get back into that fight.
No, I think that mistake was too big to be allowed back into a 6-4. For me, that's a 6-4 lead.
But the thing is, though, literally by the end of the first turn, Stephen is close, and then from clip 3 down, he's on his door. So 5-5 or a weak 6-4 to Stephen for me. Like, he does a really, really good job getting back into that fight, and Abdul's lead is okay.
Yeah, that error is a little too big for me as well. But
Yeah, I think the error was too big for me. I'd give that as a 6-4 to Abdullah for that first run, but it doesn't matter because we are now under this second one. This could potentially be all that matters. If Abdullah Hussain makes a big error here, then he's going to end up losing the battle regardless, or we're going to end up with it one more time, and just as I say it, he's done it. He's gone for the lunge and absolutely punted Stephen off the track completely.
you had to say it.
That error probably outweighs the other one. It's just
Yeah,
a
that
commentator's
is
curse.
a full incomplete. That yeah.
Yeah.
That, and I thought Stephen would hate me. My God, Ben. My God.
I apparently have a death wish. I want to say things to drivers and then make things so bad for them that it all goes wrong. Look at that. I mean, that is entirely Abdullah Abu Hussein's fault in that chase position in my book. There is nothing there justifying that amount of aggression.
He hits his front door on Stephen's front wheel. That is.
Let me put it a different way. Do
Pretty
we
clear
have
cut.
do we have a definite winner?
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
We all know.
Are we all fairly sure that we know who it is?
We all know. We all know.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case,
It is a 13.5. I can say that much.
yes, you can. That is true, and it is driven by a man.
Undisclosed
Well-
color.
D-Cell from Warren.
Yeah.
Like super,
Yep.
super low angle, massive handbrake drag.
Let's watch it again. All of that run was pretty dramatic. This has definitely been what we've been building up to all evening. These guys are going at it hammer and nail. Look at this fight backwards and forwards. Warren goes for this
Strong
big
7-3
transition.
to chase.
Good through there from the lead as well, but this is where it could have unwound for Warren according to the other guys. Yeah, look at that. That's a very strange slowdown from Warren compared to what he's done for the rest of the night. Definitely looks like it causes Craig some problems there, and that is pretty understandable. So,
Strong 7-3, weak 8-2 to chase on that run for me.
I certainly have a driver with an advantage in my head. Let's see how
In your
this-
head?
In my head.
Demonetized!
As Warren Greener checks up onto the inside, trying to keep that proximity with Craig Fulgham. Is this the final battle of the night unfolding now, or are we going to see it one more time?
I was thinking of the song.
Look at these guys flying through here. Craig Fulgham on a lovely line. Is he going to have that decel a little bit cleaner? Yes, he is. There's a wobble from Warren. Tries to push up onto the rear quarter, though. Round and through and across the line. Let's watch that one last time. Is that the final run of tonight's competition? Gentlemen, do we have a winner?
Just checking one thing real quick.
Yeah, I've got a winner.
I'm pretty sure I got a winner, but let's see so.
Would you like to message me your wiener?
Don't
send
know
me a
about
dick
that
pic.
one.
Really?
I don't know about that request, but I can send you the winner.
Yeah, but if you could send me the winner, that would be good. Chat, let's see. Do you guys think we have a winner? Do you guys think we have someone who has taken this week's crown? Who do you think it is if you do? Let's see. Let's see what's happening here.
They've decided that their tyres need destroying. Warren's trying to get in on that, but
Okay.
he needs to go. Man needs to go.
We have a result. It will
The winner is
surprise no
driving a
one
Nissan.
after we saw the playoff battle to know that the man in third place is Stephen Hatcher. Stephen Hatcher taking his first podium with us at Tsujigiri, makes it up onto the podium there. Well done to him. That is a fantastic effort. Now, that final was pretty dramatic, more dramatic than we were expecting, but we do know that we have a unanimous winner from that final battle between Warren Greener and Craig Fulgham. In the end, it came down to that last section, and we can confirm tonight's winner is Craig Fulgham. Craig Fulgham defeats Warren Greener in the final to take the victory at tonight's competition. Well done to Craig. That is absolutely fantastic. If we can get them to line up so that we can get a photo of them for the social media, that would be amazing. That was an absolutely fantastic competition by everyone. Thank you very much to all of you who came along and watched. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here. Thank you also to my associated judges on very short notice. Caleb Dauphiné, thank you for coming along. I hope you had fun this evening.
It was a blast.
Excellent, thank you for coming. And also to Chris Viltovsky, you did fantastically this evening as usual. We know that you enjoy coming along. He's off to already chastise people he's left there. And thank you so much to Anders Unger, our start line marshal and driver wrangler. Without him, we would be unable to do any of these things. That is how everything has shaped up this evening. Well. Thank you very much to all of you guys at home. I hope you enjoyed it when you came along to this. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here. Thank you everyone for taking part in the chat and for the various other bits. That's been a pleasure as well. We hope you enjoyed it. Please, and I can't believe I have to say these words, don't forget to like, follow and subscribe our various social media. If you haven't already, check out the website tsujigiri.world. You can get access to our Discord if you want to come and join in and drive with us next week. You can also get access to our merchandise, stuff such as this. This is just the only hat I had with me while we were on tour down here today. But please do support us and your favourite drivers by giving them more exposure, not in a sexy way, by giving them the chance to drive more, which we all fund from the sale of the merchandise and from our Patreon channel as well, where you can check out next generation of cars that we're releasing soon, which is the Pro Pack, the Street Pack, and something that's already in the works that's going to be really exciting for you guys coming forward. So if you enjoyed that, Maybe you can join in next time. We love having you here. Thank you so much for coming along. We will see you next week for another event. We are building up to the end of our Friday night events before we switch over to a different competition format. It's very, very exciting. In the meantime, check out the website. Thank you for coming along. It's been a pleasure having you here, and we will see all of you next week. Good night.